Tuesday, San Antonio Spurs guard De'Aaron Fox told the Houston Chronicle that he definitely hoped to sign a long-term deal with the Spurs this offseason, according to the Houston Chronicle. Fox is eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension this offseason, but the earliest he can sign it is August the 3rd. Rumors are bouncing regarding the number 14 pick that the Spurs own. They look to upgrade the roster, and it could be on the move, according to Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody! How we doing? It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Happy Tuesday. I'm AJ, your old pal, joined by my old pal, Mr. San Antonio himself, Mr. Rob Thompson. Good morning, sir.
Morning all. Hold your applause.
No, bring the applause. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Tip the help. Make sure you get it right if you need it.
On the other side of the glass, good morning, Slick Vic,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Vic Brown. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good. Drinking that coffee, I see.
Cup
So we have about an hour before Vic leaves.
Yeah.
The process has now begun.
That's
the
the
train
thing.
is leaving the station.
Vic's
There's
like
no stopping it once it leaves.
before the show every day. Vic will give me an idea of when I'm going to have long breaks, when I'm going to have short breaks, and he's like, a lot of short breaks today. But he's still drinking coffee. He knows that there's a lot of short breaks today, but he's still taking that chance. And he knows there's no Edwin here today. So he's that means he'll be gone in the middle of a segment, Rob. There will be
a time when
there will be a segment where
stretch.
we look across the glass and he's
Stretch.
not there, and I'm ready to go to break, and he
Yeah,
won't be there.
And we don't know what
We never know when.
So
We never know when.
if for no apparent reason, you just start hearing a volley of just like drops. It's
Right.
just, we've just run out of things to say.
That's right.
There's nothing left to say. We'll just start piling one drop on after another.
Yeah.
Make it
Soccer
right.
was invented by European ladies to keep them busy while their husbands did the cooking.
See, we drop little nuggets like that, just to keep you occupied. I was talking to Diamond Jim a little earlier, and he was like, "How's your sporting calendar looking?" I'm like, "There's no. I mean, it's pretty slow. There's international friendlies.
Yes.
Like, yes, there are.
Yeah.
And
I don't care.
and then
What else?
and then
Bobby.
yeah, I'm you lose me on that one, but hey, to each their own, right?
And last night's hockey game was a game. Was that a game?
Do
Do we call that a game?
It counts on the game count, so it is now 2-1 Florida.
Boy, that was a
As a standalone, it wasn't much of a game. There was there were some hurt feelings at the end of it. I'll tell you that. And it's what? It's rare that you see that in the Stanley Cup, like the Stanley Cup Final specifically, because nobody wants to take a penalty and things like that. But once a game's out of hand like that, it's like, well,
all right.
let's dance, baby.
You might win the game. I'm taking the fight.
That's right.
And they didn't even take that.
They didn't even take that. No.
What's his name? Evander Kane?
Evander Kane.
I want to punch him too.
I do too. I hate him so much. He's the worst. He instigated all throughout the Vegas series. He is the least likable on a team full of likable guys. I think the Edmonton Oilers. He is the least likable of them.
Well, I'm glad he got his ass kicked.
Yeah. He played for the Sharks. I hate the Sharks, even though they always stink. I still hate the Sharks. He's been passed around a little bit. He's a scrubby dub. He's actually a really good player, but I hate him.
Well, if this is a portent of things to come, Edmonton's got a lot of work to do. That
Yes,
was an
they
ass
do.
kicking. I mean, it felt like, and I don't know hockey, but it felt like in every facet they were just not even up to the task.
Well, the thing that happened yesterday was finally, for the first time in the series, Sergei Bobrovsky played like the best goalie in the world, and if he's going to do that,
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard to beat because Edmonton's goaltending. I told you during the Vegas series, I was like, I don't know how this guy's playing so well. He's not a good player. Edmonton's goalie is not that good.
He's huge.
I know.
That guy he's got to be the biggest goalie in.
I don't know. I don't know if they keep track of that. I'm sure he's up there, certainly.
He fits when you first learn about hockey, you go, if I was a hockey coach, I'd just go by and find the fattest dude I could.
Like Goldberg and the Mighty Ducks?
Just get the widest dude possible and then give him really wide arm pads and dude, just stand there. I don't just don't duck.
To make it. Yeah.
And just be that. I think I would, 2 goals at most.
But yeah, the goalie showed up last night, and Edmonton's goalie did not show up last night, and that is the result.
There went the night.
An absolute thrashing in Game 3 of the series. So now it's 2-1, and much like the NBA, now you've got today, tomorrow, and then they'll play again on Thursday. Yeah. After a 6-1 game, now you get to wait 2 more days before you see it again.
They can regroup all they want. They need to get off the bus.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't like this. I don't like the 2 days between, especially on the non-travel days. If you want to take 2 days on the travel time, fine. But I don't like this. You're already in the city you're going to be in. Don't take 2 days off. It's just bad. The NBA is doing it wrong. The NHL is doing it wrong. And I think I said this yesterday. I think the NHL is doing it because they kind of have to, because they have to follow the NBA's lead on this thing. And they always get together and they're never playing on the same night, which in a way is good. But
I'm for it.
Let's just get these things through.
I wish I'd have just paid more. I should have watched the baseball game, the Duke Murray State game. I should have been over there.
Well,
I wasted an opportunity to root against a team.
Oh, it's always fun to root against Duke, and then for them to actually lose. You had that opportunity.
Yeah, and I root for the basketball team, but it seems like for the most part,
do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, I don't know, Coach K things. But I also root for North Carolina, and when they're going at each other, I don't really care. But for the most part, I'm a Duke fan. But when it comes to any other sport, no, I find them
deplorable.
Genuinely. Well, not deplorable. They're just Long Island money dudes. I don't like that type,
Yeah, I did like Murray State. If Murray is, it's not in what you would call an upscale neighborhood.
It's a school that would have let me in. It's a school I could have gotten in. I want
and
students I can identify with.
It does make me feel good to see them beat a team like Duke. So I did appreciate that. Although I didn't get to see it. My television watching is very limited. I get internet at my house tomorrow. Yep. I was supposed to have a moving truck in my driveway yesterday. This is unbelievable.
So what are y'all doing at like 8 o'clock at night? Y'all just like sitting around
on
lawn chairs?
I'm like watching I'm watching hockey on my iPad, and it like.
Where are your boys? What are they doing?
They're laying around with their phones. Like it's 8 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's terrible. We're waiting on the moving truck. We had a 3-day window. The moving truck gets delivered sometime between Monday and Wednesday. Okay. Yesterday, or I guess Sunday, we check the truck's in El Paso. All right. That means it's going to get here early in the window, right?
So do you have dudes lined up?
No, because there's no way to line anybody up because we don't know when.
So you got to be flexible, and you can't just drive over to Lowe's. Those dudes are having to hide in the bushes.
Exactly.
So it's going to be you got a small window of opportunity here.
Yeah, I've got a card with like you could call some guys to come over and move.
Like 2 dudes in a truck kind of thing.
But the thing is, I don't need them for a lot. There's like, at the very end, there's going to be a couple items that I'm going to need some help with. And it's like my gun safe and my giant refrigerator that I'm going to get rid of anyway. But everything else.
How big is a gun safe?
It's about
it like closet size?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good size. I mean, it's like
those things weigh about 500
30.
pounds.
I was gonna say
they're not.
This one weighs close to 1,000 pounds. Yeah, this is a big safe. But this is that's the things I need help with. Everything else, we can get off the truck anyway. So I'm going to get everything in, and then at the end, I'm going to call some dudes and have them come help.
Today?
No, I don't think so, because yesterday it was in El Paso.
So this guy has no possibility of contacting you and saying, I'm going to.
No. You just look on the website. It gives you an update every day. And Sunday night, he was in El Paso, and so we said, we've got to assume he'll be here tomorrow. So I just went about my day assuming, okay, when I get home, I'm going to be unloading the truck. No truck yesterday. No. And now the new update last night is he went from El Paso to Odessa.
That's where his Sancha lives.
Now,
a little pit stop.
Odessa's out of the way.
It is a little north of where you would ordinarily drive.
And it says next stop, Dallas.
That's where his other Sancha lives.
So now I'm sitting here thinking,
no, he's a plug, man. He's dropping off.
Maybe so.
Stuff off.
Now, mind you, you have the option to rent out portions of the moving truck.
I bet he's got some logistics. I bet he's making a little money on the side.
We rented out the entire truck. There's no room for anything else.
So even if he wanted to,
he's just driving your stuff from Odessa to Dallas, just cruising.
Yes. Now, is it possible that this truck can haul 2 of those trailers at once? I guess. Yeah, I mean, it would be a hell of a task, but I guess it's possible.
I don't know.
But now that he's going to Dallas, I have to assume my stuff's not going to get here till tomorrow. And now I got another day to burn.
On your glamping trip.
Yes, and basically we've unpacked everything that is like core stuff. Everything that's not unpacked is stuff that requires what we have to put on it. Like,
clothes.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to unpack all these underwear and put them in a non-dresser? Like, what am I going to do? So, it's just it's a waiting game now. It's very, very frustrating. But I do have some activities planned today. I've got to take my dogs to the vets.
Funtivities?
Yeah, some funtivities planned. I'm taking my dogs to the vet today. Okay. We have an electrician coming over to handle some of the quirks of a new home, such as the electrical outlets in the bathroom don't work for some reason, which is a little bit annoying when I go to use my head shaver in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's been on the charger for the last, and then it's like it's never been charging. So it's like, wait a minute, why isn't this working? Yeah, it's hilarious. And
you shave your head every morning?
Yeah, I have like a little thing that one of those head things that you run over your head. Yeah.
A little,
and it's like today or yesterday, I tried to turn it on, and it was like, man, this is running slow. Oh, it's because there's no electricity that's been going. My toothbrush too. My toothbrush. I went to brush my teeth yesterday, and it was like.
Then you had to actually.
You had to my forearm was tired for the rest of the day.
What is this? I mean,
what is this? The Stone Age? I'm brushing my teeth manually.
This is awful. Sucks.
Or you remember yesterday we were talking about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It reminds me when he had the giant toothbrush and he was
That's you.
That's not toothpaste.
All right. Listen, we've got a hell of a program for you today. You know what today is? Today is the start of OTAs, real time.
I wonder if all
mandatory.
The players woke up excited this morning. They have all their stuff laid out, ready for their first practice.
Like, do you think James Cook has all his stuff laid out?
Like the Cowboy draft choice. This is their first day with the big kids.
Oh,
first day.
Yes.
Get to go hang around with the stars.
Oh, yeah.
Big day in the football life.
Oh, yeah.
With their socks and cleats laid out right off the bed.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun day.
What a day! What a day! And what a day for us, because obviously we like talking football. What a time it is in the sports calendar when football gets underway. So we'll talk about that. We'll catch you up on the latest. Is Micah Parsons going to be there today? What's going to happen with him? So we'll discuss all those things. A lot to get into. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Road work continues 35 southbound Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. It's taking up that right lane. Rolling stop and go along 35 southbound Judson to Randolph Boulevard as your morning commute starts to fill in. On Loop 410 eastbound, Parent Vital to Austin Highway, 2 lanes closed with roadwork. Stop and go from Harry Wurzbach. And downtown, 35 lower level still shut down. Southbound Alamo on down to Laredo Street due to roadwork. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
It is summertime in San Antonio, and that means you want a beer that is brewed for the summertime, and Karbach Brewing has you covered. Love Street is their blonde-style Kolsch ale. It is a smooth drinker, and it is great for those days out at the pool. Right now, the next beer in their fun series is Rhubarbed. It's a fruited field beer, refreshing, vibrant brand, which used to only be available at the brewery. Well, now guess what? It's available for you all over San Antonio. Of course, Ziegenbach and Crawford Bach, those you're going to find all over the city as well. There's something for everybody's summer taste at Karbach, and they've got a lot of things going on at KarbachBrewing.com. They've got great giveaways, including some Love Street Air Force Ones, customized, designed by a local artist, get you looking good for the summer. And the great taste of summer gives listeners a chance to win a grill for their backyard. Show off your true Texan skills as a barbecue master. Grill up your own great taste of Texas.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Good morning! Yes. Everybody loves a Tuesday. Rob loves a Tuesday.
Tuesday has no feel.
Tuesday sucks.
Kind of
It does today anyway.
I mean, there's just
But
no
we're going to
feel
make
to
it better, man. We're going to make it better. We've got to, right?
Yep.
We've got to make it better. It can't be much worse.
I can make it worse.
Yeah, how?
Did you see where Sly Stone died yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I did. Womp, womp. That is worse. Although, I mean, listen, you get to your 80s. I don't know if I feel bad when someone in their 80s dies. Like, I feel like that's a good run.
Yeah, I mean, but
yeah.
It's not like we were all waiting for his next release. And
right.
I think most of us, when we heard, went, I thought he was already gone.
No. Well,
But
yeah, probably.
turns out that, he had...
Isn't it funny how when these old guys die, like people who were famous in a different era die, you always say, "Oh, I thought he'd been dead," but then when you start talking about him, we always say, "Is he dead?" Like, we never have any idea, and it just goes to show anybody who like feigns any kind of like real feeling about celebrities dying is just full of it.
No, there's only a few where you're generally kind of like, oh, that one got me. But
yeah,
in general, I assume if I'm talking about any musician from any time in the past or wrestler, I just assume they're all dead.
That's the way to do it, man.
And normally you're right.
Kurt Cobain, dead.
You're like, oh, yeah, if I have to think about it, they normally are dead.
Kurt Angle, alive.
See, I would have thought dead.
I know that's the trick. That's the trick that it plays, man. That's the trick that it plays. Eddie Guerrero, dead. Eddie Vedder, alive. Dead. Even though a 90s grunge singer, you would assume. Right?
Well, now he's not dead. He's just singing the seventh inning stretch. All he's doing is going to Cubs games.
I'm still alive. Anytime you wonder if Eddie Vedder's dead, remember that song.
Well, that and the seventh inning song at the Cubs games. That's all he does now, right?
But he literally sings a song about still being alive.
So I'm still,
which means he will never die.
Well, he's
never lost.
He's living a good life, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, Sly Stone passes away.
Mm-hmm.
Passes away. Stone Cold Steve Austin,
very much alive.
Still alive. Sly Stone dead. Stone Cold alive.
I think he's still in Austin, right? Did he move from
no,
Austin?
He I think he's got a ranch now in Reno.
Goldberg lives in Austin.
Yeah, no, Goldberg lives in Bernie. Yeah.
Right.
Which what were you saying about the Bernie Middle School principal?
Yeah, principal DWI with a gun charge. Just to, but it's June. I mean, it's summer.
It's good to know that it's good to know that Tyreek Hill is the principal at Bernie Middle School.
Well, the sad thing is, that's what the charge is. I mean, guy had I don't know what the gun charge would be. You don't have to.
Well,
I think you get pulled up. I mean, I think if you
don't
are
need a license to carry anymore.
no, but if you're
drunk with a gun,
you can't be carried around.
That's right.
So I think that's what it is. Like, yeah, I remember I got in trouble once because before when I lived in Texas, you did have to have a license to carry, and I of course I did have one, and then you would get pulled over, and
they treat you like right?
Yeah, they're like
Get out of the car.
You give your license over, and then they take it and they come back and they're like, sir, do you have a weapon in the car? And I mean, often I did. I'd be like, yeah, and they'd be like,
several.
You need to let us know when you've got a weapon. And I'm like, is it a crime? I mean, I've got a license to have. And first of all, your car, even when you needed a license to carry, your car's an extension of your home. You didn't need to have a license to carry in your car. But he's like, just for our safety, you need to let us know. And I was like,
well, that's not the law. It's just a helpful thing to say. Yeah.
Well, doesn't that
license tell you?
Doesn't that license tell you that this guy is likely to have a gun? But that was sort of a frustrating. Now I guess everybody's just carrying willy-nilly.
Well, my whole life, I've carried. I mean, in high school we had gun racks. I mean,
yeah,
I've always had a gun in the car. It's just not a rifle anymore.
Well, and when you had a gun rack, at least it was visible.
Yeah, I mean, you could see them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Now
it was just
30-30 or a shotgun, right?
Where are you going? Right after class, we're gonna go dove hunt.
Now I keep my my 12 gauge shotgun in the glove compartment, just where, just in case a bird flies out. I reach in there and
sawed off action.
Someone says AJ, the bathroom should be on a GFCI. It should be, but they're not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Not up to code.
Not up to code.
What? Code violation.
Or at least they don't have the at least the outlets aren't GFCI. So
they should be. I think that's code, isn't it?
I know. The guy, like, my home warranty's coming out today to take care of it, and they're going to get it up to speed.
Up to speed.
That's a good thing about that home warranty thing. It's just, they something's wrong. They come out and the seller paid for it, so it paid. They paid for it. I think my problem, but
they knew what they were hiding.
They rekey all the locks. They do all those types of things. Yeah. It's a good thing to have.
Do you have like dead body removal in case there's something?
Did you
get the rider
for hidden cameras?
Yeah. Did you get the rider for security and body removal?
No.
It was a motivated seller.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The guy he wanted out now.
That's interesting. We do have so inside the theater room there's a closet, and in that closet there's a tiny door that goes to like
for your wiring.
I think it's for HVAC stuff.
Neverland?
But I ain't going in there. It's the kind of place you don't go in.
No, that's the thing. That's what you have your son do. Yeah, go see what's in there.
Oh, my son saw it. They're like, I ain't going in there. Oh. But there's also an overhead attic in on the second floor. So, and you can see, like, on the outside of the house, it looks like there's a third story because there's like one lone window.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna pull up one night. You're gonna see a head.
And there's no horror. There's no rope to pull the attic down, like for attic access. So there's no ladder to it. Who knows what's in there? The world may never know.
Could be a Honus Wagner card in there. Ooh. Or Mickey Mouse.
So you have like a void space up there that's not being used? Probably access from another part of the attic, right?
I don't know.
Hey,
my ladders are in the truck. So maybe one day I'll find out. But for now, it's a mystery.
My first house was pier and beam, and I remember crawling underneath the house for plumbing purposes. That's just about the scariest, awfulest thing in the place in the world.
Well, because you worried that the guy who lived there before you was John Wayne Gacy.
Well, yeah, you buy a house from the 30s. Seriously, bought a house from the 30s, and then you start crawling around underneath.
It's like there's 30 bodies under my house.
Idea.
What the hell?
And there could have been bodies. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Yeah, my when I lived in New Mexico, our house had a crawl space, and you accessed it from my little brother's bedroom, like in a closet. There was like you lift up the floor and you go down under there.
Can you imagine knowing that there was a portal to hell in your closet?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What you got over here is what we call a hell hole.
Yeah,
straight to hell, right there.
I'm out on that.
It's not a laundry chute. hellhole.
I don't mess with that kind of stuff. If I can't see down there, I ain't going. That's for you dummies. That ain't my business. All right, we'll be back.
Escape hatch.
It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Road work continues. 35 southbound Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. It's taking up that right lane. Rolling stop and go along 35 southbound Judson to Randolph Boulevard as your morning commute starts to fill in. On Loop 410 eastbound, Perrin Vital to Austin Highway. 2 lanes closed with road work. Stop and go from Harry Wurzbach. And downtown, 35 lower level still shut down. Southbound Alamo on down to Laredo Street due to road work. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off. Free UPS shipping and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store or Kohl's.com for details. If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Welcome to another unforgettable day aboard the Top Shelf Country Cruise. Start with the Sunrise Walk with Amy Brown on Deck 14. Hit the blackjack table with Lunchbox this afternoon. Then join Crook and Chase at our exclusive whiskey tasting. And tonight, an exclusive for cruisers only performance by Keith Urban. Under the Stars at the Nassau Cruiseport Amphitheater.
The Top Shelf Country Cruise, setting sail February 2026. Brought to you by Signature Cruise Experiences. Book your stateroom now at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
But no everyday people?
Yeah.
Let's play some Sly Stone.
At least we didn't play Ben. Minix and Reinig will probably think when I talk about Kitty Big Balls, it's like talking about Ben.
Yeah, we're talking about a rat, when you're singing about Ben.
No,
talking
but
about a cat with big nuts.
Yeah, our boy here. Oh, we miss you, buddy. We miss you, sweet guy.
He's with us in spirit.
He is. The black cat was outside today. We haven't seen much of him lately, but he looks like he's kind of gotten his ass whooped a little bit lately.
Yeah, he looks a little rough.
Yeah. Someone's got to take those ass whoopings now that Uncle Baby Billy's gone. Brian says, AJ, did you do an inspection on your house? Yeah, I did, but there were some things that we were like, okay, this is a priority. Let's get this taken care of. You guys take care of this, and this, and then other stuff I knew we'd be able to take care of with the warranty. But yeah, the bathroom with no GFCI is a little worrisome, but things should be okay. Easy fix, I assume too. You know what's not an easy fix? The Cincinnati Bengals defense. I don't know. I mean, the Bengals may be first of all, they may be the worst drafting organization in the world. Like, you get Joe Burrow because you luck into the number 1 pick. All right, it's hard to mess that up. You get Jamar Chase because Joe Burrow said, I want Jamar Chase, pick him. Besides that, the Bengals kind of suck at drafting. And on top of that, they suck at maintaining the team that they've got.
Well, they don't care about defense.
They
if
don't.
You're on offense, it's a great place to be.
And obviously, as you start today, we'll see what if Trey Hendrickson shows up at camp. If I were him, I would not. I think he wants out so badly at this point. The fact that he could have like a defensive player of the year caliber season and be treated like less than T. Higgins is fascinating to me. You mentioned Shamar Stewart. It looks like he's going to be holding out
for some kind of. I don't know what the specifics would be.
Dude,
it's a rookie deal. It's set.
This is really easy.
Well, but I would say he's probably got it. I don't know who his agency is, but they see Hendrickson holding out and expect that he probably won't be here anytime soon. So Shamar sees a straight shot to being a starter and wants to get every bit of juice out of the squeeze. But it's a very strange situation to find yourself as a freaking rookie. Show up for camp,
and then. Yesterday, the Bengals released Jermaine Pratt, who is their team captain and led the team in tackles last year. He was, last season, was in the top 10 in the league in tackles, had 143 tackles. He had requested a trade back in February, and they held on to him for the offseason. And then at the end of the offseason, they decide, let's just let him go and get nothing in return.
Well, they couldn't have him in the building. When you cut your team captain like that, there's one thing about play, but that's more about we're eliminating these sour grapes out of the locker room to me. I think Erickson's a problem, but he wasn't the team leader. When your team captain gets cut the day before mandatory OTAs,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. But they're trying to change the mindset of the locker room. They're getting rid of the locker room lawyers in their mind. They're getting rid of all the ill speakers, the angries, and bringing in young dudes. It's an obvious attempt to kind of quell what could have been a split locker room to me.
But you're also getting rid of everybody who can play a lick on defense, and you already had a horrific defense.
I'm not trying to make sense out of nonsense, but I can tell you what they're doing. You don't cut your team captain the day before OTAs without trying to eliminate what would have been an internal.
Sounds like it. He was going to enter the final year of his contract this year. By releasing him, they incur $2.3 million in dead money. He was going to earn $5.25 million for the season,
which is nothing. This isn't about money. This is about attitude.
Yeah, it's got to be. But I really think I would imagine, I have to imagine, that locker room is about as split as can be between offense and defense.
I would assume, no, because keep in mind, dollar signs create importance inside of a professional sports team.
Sure.
So the offense is clearly is the bell cow. Clearly they get everything. And the defense, bunch of young dudes making league minimum, just trying to make a name for themselves. I don't think it's split. I think it's just very evident who gets to eat first.
But even when you're talking about a guy who's a 7-year vet who's getting cut the day before OTAs, the captain, your best defensive player, Trey Hendrickson, is just sitting around waiting to get paid. I feel like there's got to be like a feeling of, this team doesn't care about us. They care about the guys on that wall. And that's got to be kind of a frustrating thing, especially when you're going into these, like this type of a mini camps and then training camps. It's
the Bengals, man.
Dude, the Bengals are such a mess.
But it's not about a split locker room.
Some things never change.
There's no divide. It's thems that have and thems that don't. And if you don't, better put out some good tape and go someplace else, because we're never, ever going to pay you on this side of the ball. It's very apparent. We're not going to do it. So Have a good year, play out your contract, and go someplace else. And remember, you're expendable. So just shut up and play. So I think this is absolutely by design, and the offense gets to eat first.
And then Jermaine Pratt, it goes to show, like you said, it's the Bengals. But when you've got a guy who says, hey, I want out of here, just trade me. In February.
No, we'd rather eat 2.6 just to keep you around for a day or two.
Not just that. Like, now you get zero in return for it. You could have traded. You can't tell me a guy who had 143 tackles last year,
or like
you couldn't get a fifth or sixth round pick for him.
No, they didn't try. It becomes vindictive because that's how franchises, small-minded, small-market franchises are run.
It's silly. It's nonsensical, and that's why the Bengals are losers. And Joe Burrow's phenomenal, and Jamar Chase is. I mean, it's almost a shame that they're going to be wasted because the Bengals are losers. They are never going to win.
I really enjoyed Phillip Rivers' career. It was a good career.
But loser.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow's going to be remembered as Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
but probably a lot of fun to watch.
And he'll probably have better stats.
Well, he'll have better stats. I mean, Stafford was headed that way.
Yeah.
I mean, man, he was a hell of a guy to watch. He could throw darts. Could he win? No, wasn't a winner.
No. He did go to a Super Bowl.
He won enough games.
But, you got to give him credit for that. But he's already ahead of Phillip Rivers' pace on that. But
there's been a lot of dudes just like him. Sometimes, 90% of it is where you land.
And it sucks because he's good enough to be one of the greatest of all time, and it's going to be wasted when he's in Cincinnati.
Tony Romo was fun to watch.
But you know what? I also can't feel bad for him because I feel like a lot of it is – I think the Bengals asked him, hey, we can pay T. Higgins or Trey Hendrickson.
I'd pay T. I'd rather complete passes and throw for yards than win games.
That's what it feels like. And if that's the case, I can't feel bad for Joe Burrow.
No, I don't. I mean, he's had every opportunity to take less, hold out, and make them do the right thing. But at every turn, he got his wide receiver paid and he got his other one paid.
And there are players who every organization has a guy that they will, or they hope they can get a guy that they will run by big decisions.
Oh, he is,
and he's that guy.
Yeah.
Like the Spurs aren't going to go. We'll talk about the Spurs here in the next hour, but the Spurs aren't going to make any kind of a deal, a big splash deal, without Wemby saying, yeah, this is something I would like at this point. Like they just wouldn't do it because they understand he's their future and they want to make sure he wants to be in San Antonio.
And we would rather lose with you happy than win with you angry.
Yes, and that's Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, and they are going to lose with him happy. All right, we'll be back, wrap up hour number 1. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you?
I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Nigel, why does our office look like a casino?
I call it employee engagement.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to hit the jackpot on comfort with Quarter Moon's Lucky 7's AC tune-up. It's just $77 for a complete 7-point inspection.
Excuse me, bossman. I've got a good feeling about that slot machine next to your desk. Joel, I couldn't get an advance on next week's check, could I?
Call Quartermoon Plumbing, AC and Heating for your Lucky 7's AC tune-up. Just $77. 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. You can do that with Orchard. Orchard puts cash into your pockets. You can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. Then you buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Learn how you can make more with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
We've got trade wars, rising costs, global chaos, and a skyrocketing national debt. It's no wonder gold keeps hitting record highs. With everything going on in the world, thousands of hardworking Americans are looking to help diversify their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And they're turning to the top-rated gold company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match and bonus silver if you qualify. Find out how you can diversify your savings, tax and penalty-free today. Call 855-969-GOLD. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
There you go, Rob.
Always been a fan. That's actually on my playlist.
Everyday people. Bow, bow, now, wow, wow. Ah, yes. Cowboys camp getting underway. There's a big article on ESPN about the Cowboys today. Todd Archer.
They cover the Cowboys?
Yeah, can you believe it?
Wow.
Talking about the he's already designed practice schedules that'll give him time to be around the special teams and the defense, but his main focus, Dakota Prescott. Oh, Dak, fully healthy, we assume, right? Fully healthy. Cowboys haven't had a first-year head coach who also was the offensive play caller since 2012 when Jason Garrett
took over for Phillips.
Was that guy. And obviously, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. And by the end of 2013, or by the start of 2013, they'd already said Bill Callahan's going to call the plays. Do you expect Schottenheimer to maintain play calling responsibilities?
I think, well, first of all, he kind of originated this offense, even though this is his first year as the HC. He was the OC in name. I don't know. You know, he didn't do any play calling, but by McCarthy's design for his staff, Schotty took care of the offense, and then McCarthy called the plays with Schotty in on the calling during the game. But so I don't think there's going to be a huge transition, so I don't see any reason why he wouldn't call the plays. This has been his offense, at least in the design phase. Now, McCarthy tweaked it and took it to his own. So, no, I would expect him to call the plays. I kind of want him to call the plays. He's been here doing that. Now, if he's a new dude with somebody else's offense, that'd be a different story. But I'm not surprised at this.
I just always worry about a guy who is, you know, he in the article he talks about trying to balance all his time.
No, you're right, and I think that's the biggest pull for a new head coach is all the different things you got to do. But I also believe is pick a side. How head coaches are either offensive or defensive. You're hired to put your imprint on the team, and at some point maybe you could become the guy in the tower. But your first year dude, I kind of need you in the thick of one of the sides. That's kind of what you do. So you're brought here to do something. Go do that.
But like and I get it. There's some guys you hire. You hire Kyle Shanahan to be your head coach.
I want him
He's calling the plays.
Yeah.
Sean McVay, you hire him to be your head coach. He's calling your plays.
Shoddy was here to do that. That's why he was hired as the OC, engineer this offense, design something for these dudes. Now, McCarthy still wanted to call plays, and we could argue whether he should have or not. But the fact is, this is an offense of his design, and he's played a role in a lot of the talent that was already here before he got the head coaching job. So, dude, go call your plays. I hired you for a reason.
Do you think there's a leash on that?
Oh,
is there a?
You're working for Jerry. Yeah, there's a leash.
I mean, on saying okay, not to say he'll get canned, year one, but if the offense is sluggish the first 6-7 games of the season, do you see someone else start to call plays?
Not immediately, no. But I do know Jerry will be the first one to make it very apparent that there's a problem by his walk down in fourth quarter. Those things that Jerry does to show the press and everybody else, hey, I'm not happy with the situation. I'm not going to address it directly, but I will let everybody know I'm upset standing outside the locker room, So I do think there might be some of that. And McCarthy dealt with it. Remember when McCarthy was calling plays and we felt like, clock management and play calling was an issue. You're not controlling everything. And Jerry played a role in, okay, well, let's go get an offensive coordinator and we'll take some of that off your plate and you'll just call the plays instead of designing. So, yeah, Jerry has a leash.
And the guy Clayton Adams, who is an offensive line coach, really doesn't seem like the likely candidate to take over play calling duties if they were to go that route. I mean, he's got less. I mean, I think he's like 40-something. He's 41.
I think for your first year, Shoddy's got a lot of rope. I think he's going to get a fair amount.
I think so too. And the one thing I do like about at least what the Cowboys have said with their mouths is they want everything to be more about physicality than it has been. And it's nice on paper, but when you're a team that wants to be built on physicality, you have to have personnel for that. And we talked about it last year. The offensive line was probably the weakest link of this football team last year. They tried I give them credit. They addressed it in the draft. Like, you use your first pick on an interior offensive lineman. It ain't sexy. There were people who were pissed off about it. Every Cowboys fan I know wanted some sort of wide receiver or running back in round one, and they said no. We're gonna stick to this game plan of being more physical. It's got to work though. Just like last year, you take a left tackle. That's a great. It's great in theory, but the guy's got to be able to play, and we don't know yet if that guy can play. So there's a lot of things like you want to be built from the inside out. You just have to have the people to do it though.
Yeah, and we got to remember what Cowboy fan wants isn't always what they need.
Oh,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, that's every fan base,
so,
Rob.
the thing about this is, if he does go to this ground and pound conservative, let's just protect the ball and let Dak be accurate, if not, outlandish kind of offense, which is really probably what Dak is best at. I'm not sure how Cowboy fans gonna be down with 21-14 games. You know what I mean? And I don't think this defense is up to the task either. So I think this is going to be a work in progress. You're going to have to put the foot on the gas pedal a little bit, because I don't think the defense is going to be good enough to slow teams down, especially when you're playing Washington twice a year. Those offenses that can really move the ball. So I think
I think Philly falls into that category
that's what I'm saying.
too.
I've just added the new guy that's on this list of tough games. So you're looking at 4, and God knows what the Giants are going to do. They got some offensive talent. You're going to have to score some points, is what I'm getting at. And I'm not sure that the defense can hold up its into the bargain. You're going to have to score, and that might be our worry at the end of the day. We got a lot of 3 and outs, but no turnovers, so you kind of balance the good with the bad, and that's my fear. Schottenheimer, if he's like his dad, which you expect, he's got a little bit of that. That's a plodding offense. Don't make mistakes. Stay there till the end and win it when you have to.
I also think it's interesting when you've got a first-year head coach, and the first time we're going to see – well, the first time the nation's going to see him is Thursday Night Football at Philly, the defending champions. Like,
all on the road,
all
of that. It's a baptism by fire, but that's why you get to be the Cowboys coach, baby.
But also, remember last year we talked about how important the start to the season was, and it felt like there were 2 very winnable games, 2 very losable games, and 2 swing games. And this year it feels like after that game 1 against the Eagles, you've got Giants, Bears, Packers,
friendly,
Jets, Panthers. Dude, your first 6 weeks are very friendly relative to what it was a year ago. You've got to make some hay
and
early on.
that's a product of having a crappy record. I mean, that's not being the NFL being friendly. They're just lousy, so you get an easier schedule.
Yeah. Well, it's partly that, certainly. Part of it is you play in the NFC North, and the Lions and the Vikings you get at the end of the year. Those ones are good, so you get that late. All right, 1 hour in the books, 3 to go. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
6 for 6, and the Aggies have the lead.
Your home for Aggies football. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Save money on your next oil change with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. Light up the night with Glow Motion, the all-new flavor from 5 Hour Energy. It's a fruity burst in a bottle that glows under UV light. Glow Motion has as much caffeine as a premium cup of coffee and 0 sugar. Just what you need to stay up celebrating your team winning a championship. And at only 2 ounces, it's perfect for runners, ravers, and anyone who refuses to stop. So whether you're dancing, gaming, or just flexing your vibe, Glow Motion shines. Literally, 5 Hour Energy Glow Motion is available online. Head to 5hourenergy.com and order yours today.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
The DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Baskets have more flavor than your taste buds know what to do with. We start with all white meat, breaded, seasoned, and fried to crunchy perfection. Next, we double down and toss them in honey barbecue or new buffalo sauce. Serve them up with DQ fries, Texas toast, and house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, and you've got flavor on flavor on flavor. Get the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket in honey barbecue or new buffalo right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-791-5533. 800-791-5533. 800-791-5533.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got some road work that could possibly slow you down this early morning. 35 southbound, Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. That right lane is closed. 35 on the frontage road northbound, 410 to Rittiman. Roadway is reduced to one lane. Got a full-on closure downtown on 35 lower level, southbound Alamo to Laredo Street. And on 35 northbound, just past 37-281, that's a stalled 18-wheeler. It's been moved off to the right shoulder, so your main lanes are getting by. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, San Antonio Spurs guard De'Aaron Fox told the Houston Chronicle that he definitely hoped to sign a long-term deal with the Spurs this offseason, according to the Houston Chronicle. Fox is eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension this offseason, but the earliest he can sign it is August the 3rd. Rumors are bouncing regarding the number 14 pick that the Spurs own. They look to upgrade the roster, and it could be on the move, according to Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7:02 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Claymore says, hey, Rob and AJ, did someone from the Blitz call you to say goodnight as part of the TikTok challenge just to get the reaction?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No, I don't either.
I don't know.
What now?
I don't know. They're asking if someone called to tell us goodnight.
No. We don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I rarely answer, especially if I don't know who it is.
And if you know me, you know don't call me.
Yeah, just text me,
Just
dude.
text me, tell me to call you.
Just text
me
Yeah,
back.
don't be a weirdo. Just text me. Text me if you want to text me goodnight. That's okay.
But I'm down with a TikTok challenge.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
anytime
right.
I get a TikTok challenge, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Challenge me. I'll show you.
I'll eat a big old thing of cinnamon. I'll
do whatever.
The washing machine soap. I'll do that.
I'll hit you in the face with a tortilla.
I'm still planking. I plank every other day. I just go out and plank places. So yeah, if it's a challenge, I'm in.
I'll smack you right in the face with a tortilla.
Dump water on people.
That's
myself
right.
included.
That's right.
Just give me a challenge.
I won't even think twice about it.
Love it.
All right. He says I think Pledge was supposed to call the big boss. Dax.
Or the bigger boss.
Oh.
You gotta watch that one.
I don't even have his number. No way.
Nope.
I read we're about to get sold, so I don't even know who our big boss is.
We already got sold
it's not
2 months
official.
ago.
They haven't written the check yet. There's just a promise.
Okay, well.
We got some money in escrow.
Oh, yeah, the promise to pay.
Got some money in escrow. That's about it.
Speaking of which, done deals, Bill Simmons says there's already a done deal. Now, Bill Simmons used to be ultra connected. I don't know if he's as connected as he once was.
I don't know how connected anybody is to the Spurs organization. So for me, if there's any kind of rumor or any kind of thought that this has occurred, it's coming out of Phoenix. It's not coming out of here. So
okay.
And I don't know what his contact situation is with the Phoenix organization. I know nothing came out of San Antonio.
I tend to agree with that. But Bill Simmons says I don't have any real inside info. But he does think that the Kevin Durant to the Spurs is already done, and they just haven't announced it. Like they've agreed on specifics, and they'll just announce it week of the draft. That's a quote from Bill Simmons.
Well, that on its face is kind of silly, but okay.
I agree.
I mean, I would agree that there might be, if there is anything, any substance to this, that there might be something in the vagaries of, yeah, we might do that if, and I don't, but the if is big enough to where it has to happen on or near draft day, whatever that if is. But I wouldn't be totally shocked if, in fact, what Simmons is saying is true, where it's a deal that would not include a number 2 overall, and it wouldn't include Steph Castle. And if those two things are true, I don't know of a Spurs fan out there that wouldn't be happy with any kind of deal following that, as long as it's not every number 1 coming up, and as long as it's not every player, but knowing full well that salary caps will have to match. So we will have to not only exit a draft pick, but several players. And I don't know anybody who's going to be mad at anybody making a move like this.
Now, the reason why he talks about this is the reason why he says it goes back to the Giannis thing. I think once they see the pricing, they're just going to trade for Kevin Durant. It'll cost a lot less. They'll be able to be really competitive. You can go a couple rounds in the playoffs, but they'll also keep the number 2 pick and keep building the way that they're building, which is kind of I don't mind that at all. It is the same reason why I say I didn't mind. I loved the De'Aaron Fox trade. It's because you didn't have to sacrifice what you were already working towards anyway. And as much as I would love to get Giannis in here, because I do think having a top 5 player in the world makes you an automatic title contender, the idea that, you know, if you were to trade for Giannis, more and more it looks like Steph Castle and the number 2 pick would be involved. Not one or the other. Both. And that's just it's a high price to pay, certainly. Whereas trading for Kevin Durant could be Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and the 14th pick, or Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and the 14th pick. And if it's that, you can still say we're still building on our trajectory for the long term. Kevin Durant's 37 years old. He's not going to be around forever. But also, we plan on being competitive right now.
I think of the 3 guys that are here that are available and worth being part of a trade, and that's Keldon, Jeremy, and Devin.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Spurs.
I think Harrison Barnes probably falls into that too.
A little bit different. I'm talking about the young dudes that you know could be here for 5-6 years if you really wanted to sign them and keep them. Yeah, Harrison's a value-added kind of thing for us. I think only one of these guys is going to survive. At the end of the day, I think only one of them is going to be here, and I think that the intent is to keep Jeremy. I think at the end he's probably the most valuable to us, but the least valuable to others.
I agree. I also think it's going to come down to what does Phoenix want?
Right, and that's why a guy with no real position like Jeremy doesn't fit a lot of places, because you got to really think about how you're going to use him. We've had him for a couple of years. We know exactly what he does. He's our tough guy. He's our fixer. He can dribble. He can shoot. He can pass, but he doesn't require anything. And when you add a Kevin Durant and a growing Wemby and a Steph Castle and a Dylan Harper and a De'Aaron Fox, there's a lot of dudes that need the ball. So it just feels like Jeremy is the most likely dude to hang around because his requirements are none and he fixes things. And to see his value, you have to go beyond the stats. So I don't think Phoenix or anybody else is even going to want him. So I think part of it is we want him, and a lot of it is people don't. So he'll be the one that we end up with. And
I tend to agree. I also think if that's who Phoenix asks for,
he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
I don't think anything would stick on a Kevin Durant trade, but I do think, as far as what the NBA world is looking for, Jeremy just is a master of none, but a jack of all, and I don't think that's the kind of thing that a young building team requires. I've always felt like he's a guy that great teams have, but good teams can't afford.
And the difference to me between making the deal for KD versus making the deal for Giannis is, I said last week and the week before even, if you trade for Giannis, I think you are instantly a contender. You know, like no matter what else is around him, you're alive. You're live for the biggest prize. I don't know if Wemby, Castle, Fox, Harper, KD, if that's a championship contending team. But you know what? It's a competitive team. It's a playoff team.
It's a championship contending 5. Those 5 alone, if you build a bench, look at what the Pacers are rolling out, look at what OKC's rolling out, and it is very much the same. Keep in mind that what makes OKC great isn't just Shai Gilgeous, it's Caruso at like 19 million. It's Dort at like 19. It's the others that make that team great. They're building around a superstar. Then you go that roster versus what the Spurs would roll out if in fact Durant is here and De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. You start going talent for talent. Spurs might actually be better for a total 5, but not singular when you're dealing with Shai Gilgeous.
And that's the thing. And again, it goes back to, do you think a team that doesn't have a top 5 player in the world can win a title?
You would have to have a team like the Spurs where you might not have a top 5 player, but you got 3 top 20s or 3 in the top 25.
And what it certainly does is it at least makes you competitive enough that by the time Wemby does become a top 5 player in the league, they're knocking on the door anyway.
I don't know if anybody would be upset with the deal as long as it doesn't mortgage the future. I'm willing to mortgage the present. I don't need a whole lot right now. I'm willing to give up the 14, and I'm willing to give up a number 1 next year, and maybe even another one further down the road, but I still need to have some leeway, some unprotected number 1s that I'm going to hold on to that, that will fill the gap while I'm paying all these dudes the money that eventually I'm going to have to pay. But to land Durant and be able to keep Dylan Harper and Steph Castle, once you've cleared that hurdle, if that's in fact the case, I don't know how you say no.
I don't know how you do either.
Unless it's all the number 1s. Even then you go, with that, I don't know where I would put all these number 1s. So it's one of those where, as you said, and as we all feel like, the Spurs at their heart want to be a built team, not a bought team. And this allows you to do both.
Yeah.
You're still building with guys, but you're buying talent in De'Aaron and whoever you're trading to bring in.
Claymore says, I would think your bench would need production later.
It would.
And they would.
Oh, absolutely.
But you would have Harper as bench player. You would have presumably whoever's left of Sohan, Keldon, Vassell as a bench player. I still think you need to go out and find a big.
Well, they will. And the other part of that is once you start landing real talent, your free agent pickups get a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Suddenly you don't have to call. Agents are calling you. Suddenly players will take a few dollars less to come play with the opportunity, and either the opportunity of a championship or just the opportunity of playing with Wemby and De'Aaron and Kevin Durant. My goodness, can you imagine spending 82 games with that road show? So it just makes it a whole lot easier going to get some dudes.
The other teams in the mix for KD apparently are the Rockets and the Timberwolves.
I think the Rockets are going to be, if the Spurs are in it, I think the Rockets are ahead of them. So any deal you look at with Giannis, I think the Rockets could offer more, and I think that they could offer a whole lot more to go get Kevin Durant, and he fits exactly the kind of the premise that Houston does. So I think they're getting the right of first refusal on some of these things.
Well, also remember the Rockets head coach, their mentality is defense. I don't know if Kevin Durant fits that mold anymore.
Well, he doesn't have to play the defense. The other 4 can. I mean, it's nice to have a dude
depending on what you give up.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a dude that can go get 30 anytime you want it. And that's basically Durant. And you could free him up to do a lot of stuff with the dogs that would be around him. It would be a good move for him too.
But you're right that the Rockets have they've got better stuff to offer than the
better
the Spurs
current
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
We have better long-term stuff. They got better current stuff.
And that's assuming you're holding back Wemby, obviously, and Fox isn't involved. But the Rockets feel like they are very fluid in what they've got right now. They feel like we could take one of these pieces away and still be very competitive. I think Sengun is the can't touch of can't touches for them.
He is.
But everybody else, it's very positionless. Like you could see a lot of those guys moving, and you think it'd still be okay if they didn't have that guy.
And you could justify any move because I think Jalen Green with the right surroundings could be an all-NBA type. He certainly has all the stuff. And then you pick the wing that you like the most. Jabari, you like that one? Pick your favorite wing, and you could pick one that could easily be an all-NBA type. And if I'm sending Durant, I could actually ask for Sengun. I could actually kind of talk to him about maybe a singular move like that. So I think the Houston has more to offer.
I think so too. Although I think the Rockets would say no to that.
Nuts,
I think the
only
Rockets,
way he leaves is if it's a Giannis thing.
The Rockets need to remember they were the 2 seed this year. Like they're pretty damn close as it is. Don't go giving up the golden goose just yet.
That's why Durant would be just like the Spurs. You're not giving away everything. You get to keep your core, and you give away a couple of pieces and parts for a 25-5 a guy.
I think that's the way to look at it. There are also, again, everything right now is conjecture and rumors, but there's still rumors about Giannis being involved in this deal. We'll talk about that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply, into life out here.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
You know, some people are just good at everything. You know, gymnastics, sucking crawfish. Some people just are multi-talented. Very educational. We still got 45 minutes to go.
All I know is you're not walking down the hall to go to the bathroom during this break.
No, I'm not.
Right Home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thank you, Doctor. Morning Huddle 94.1. We've talked about KD. We've obviously spent a lot of time talking about Giannis, and
you know what? At the end of the day, he ain't leaving.
I kind of think that too.
He ain't leaving. He's staying there. They've convinced him to take a gap year. He's going to get a year of fun and frivolity as they wait for Dame's contract to expire or health to improve, and they're going to retool in a year. He's not going anywhere.
Now, that said, there have now been talk of two other players that may be available. One we've talked about here before because the afternoon show's James Pledger has mentioned them as a possible suitor for Lauri Markkanen. And if things don't work out with KD, the rumored price tag would be, and you tell me if this is too much, Vassell, Barnes, number 14, a 2029 first-round pick, and a 2032 pick swap.
That's about what Lowry's worth.
3-and-D guy would fit a lot of the needs that the Spurs have.
I'd do that. I'd make that move. I like the pick swap idea. I'm only giving up one number one.
You're giving up two technically.
Well, I'd get
but you have
back.
A spare one.
Yeah, I'll get one back if we're swapping.
No, this year's first and 2029 first.
But I'm giving up two, but I get one back.
Yeah,
and when I do get one back, it would be. I assume their record won't be mine, so it'd be a higher pick. That's what Lowry. I mean, you're talking about a third-team quality All-NBA type, a guy who has probably better board game than he gets credit for, can put the ball on the court and get to the rim when he wants to. That he doesn't get credit for that. The best shooter available. I mean, we're talking about a dude that can legitimately hit 35 to 40%, and you can rely on that. He would make him immediately better, and the cost is something about its future return, not current. I mean, we're switching a lesser jump shooter in Devin for a better one. I would make the deal. That's one that if they called me and offered that, I don't know how I'd say no. Now, you only get one of those, and the cost is funny. That's about what Durant's going to cost you as far as manpower and draft picks.
Yeah.
So I'd look at Durant, and if that didn't work, Markkanen would certainly be an upgrade, probably a little bit expensive, but a deal I would make.
And then Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports floated this one out, and the problem, and I'll set up the trade first. The Celtics looking potentially to move on from Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown would fit a lot of things that the Spurs would like to have. The price tag from a asset standpoint, Harrison Barnes, Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, the 14th pick, and giving the Celtics back the rights to their first rounder in 2028.
That we took in the Derek.
Yes. So basically 2 firsts, Barnes, Vassell, and Julian.
He fits the Spurs mentality.
The problem is we're talking $59 million a year. And like the deal with Durant is if you let's say you did bring in Durant, if you traded for Durant, you'd be trading for a guy that you'd be negotiating an extension with.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant is not going to be
his values are going up.
He's not going to be a $60 million a year player anymore. I think he probably understands that, and he would sign a deal as such. And if he's looking for $60 million a year, I wouldn't trade for Kevin Durant anyway. So, but Jaylen Brown, you're locked into that for 4 years. At a time where you're about to have to write a healthy check to De'Aaron Fox, and eventually you're going to have to write a healthy check to Victor Wembanyama, and 2 years after that, presumably Steph Castle.
What was that yellow bracelet? What would Jesus do? What would a rich team do?
A rich team?
What would a rich NBA team do? If money, I mean, we're talking about apron costs, and what would a rich team do?
They would do this.
They would do this.
Yeah.
So,
but the Spurs aren't a rich team.
Well, you act as if you win, you get rich. I mean, I think the key to this is
Rob. They're already talking about busting up, teams that just went to the conference finals.
Who?
the Timberwolves, the Cavs. Like Cavs won the second most games in the league this year. They're already talking about busting them up.
Well, they ran it back, and they're not talking about busting up like they're great players. They're talking about Darius Garland maybe, and still keeping Donovan and the other ones. I get it, but what I'm saying is, what would a rich team do? I don't want the thing is, there's always money in the cushions. You can afford to do any of this. You will not be financially bound in any deal that we're talking about. You can find the money. Are you worried 3 years from now, can we afford 3 dudes making $60 million a year? I'll worry about it then. That's what a rich team would do. I'll fix that problem when I get to it. But right now, I'm going to get myself a lot better. Would the Lakers turn down a deal like this? Would the Knicks? Would the Celtics? No. They'll just figure it out when they get there. Now, you could say that's financially irresponsible, and that's why some teams continually suck. But rich teams can buy their way out of problems. And sometimes you just got to act rich and hope you get rich.
Yeah. Well,
so I don't think money should get in the way. The cost we got to worry about paying Jalen 56, and man, I got to pay Wemby 56 in 3 years. You think the Layers give a crap about how much they're going to have to pay Wemby in 3 years?
No.
They'll worry about it when they get there.
I agree with that. Frank says Michael Dell owns the Spurs and is the second richest owner in the NBA.
Well, unfortunately, money and ownership does not apply to how much you can pay your team.
Well, also, that's just...
And he doesn't own them. The Holtz still had the control.
Yeah, he is not, and even if he did, he's not the second richest owner in the NBA. In fact, the Spurs have the least wealthy ownership group of the 3 teams in Texas.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
The Adelsons are right behind Steve Ballmer, if I'm not mistaken.
But that doesn't matter when it comes to paying your team.
No. But your willingness to pay the taxes on those things does associate. I mean, like Jody Allen is a top 5 wealthy owner.
Keep in mind, an NBA owner has never lost money. He just hasn't made as much as the other owners. No NBA or professional sports franchise has ever lost a penny. Let's just put it out there. They've just not made as much as they had hoped. They have never. Now, accounting tricks be damned. Now you can show me on a P&L statement you lost money. I know you didn't.
Yeah.
Or why would I own this?
And here's the thing: if you are losing money, if you sell the team, you're going to make it.
Yeah. Again, you have lost potential profits. You haven't. There was nothing that came out of your emergency reserve to hold on to the Spurs. You just didn't make as much. Nobody is losing money on a professional sports franchise. That's why they cost $7 billion to buy.
Right. And also, like, there are teams where teams like the Lakers. Jeannie Buss is not one of the richest owners in sports. She's got the most valuable franchise in the NBA.
But you can only spend so much. Is my point.
There's a limit.
They've protected themselves. So just because you got a rich owner doesn't mean you can spend more than the others. But rich franchises don't worry about such things.
Correct.
You think the Lakers or anybody is worried about paying Luka's next contract?
No,
not at all. We'll figure it out. We'll pay him.
Although, like I said, Dan Gilbert, he's got to be top 5 in richest owners. And he's talking about maybe we move on from Garland and Jared Allen.
And that's under the auspices of we just need to get better. But he's not moving on from Garland because, hey, we're not making them, we're losing money. That ain't the case. So what I'm getting at is when we're talking about
it's not about
these deals,
losing money. It's about, do I want to keep spending this much?
Spending that much for nominal return. When we get here, I don't want the Spurs to look down the road and go, well, if I have to go get Jalen, can I pay Wemby in 3 years? Yes. I'll give you the answer. Yes. You'll find a way.
Yeah.
The league is structured for you to find a way. Mediocrity or parity, depending how you want to define it, allows you to keep your dudes. You'll find a way.
Yeah. But is paying Jaylen Brown?
If it is paying him, don't let the $56 million be the reason you don't. You go, is the investment worth is the pull worth the squeeze? Will I get what I need? I mean, I'm perfectly willing to spend the $56 million, but is this the guy? Is he going to be the one that fits with Wemby and plays with De'Aaron? That's the witchcraft. Don't let the money get in the way. Let the play be the deciding factor. Will he mesh? Because I am locked into it, but know full well I can buy the Cadillac. So let's look at Cadillacs.
But that's the question. Do you want to pay? Is Jaylen Brown a Cadillac? And
that's the witchcraft of being a GM. That's the decision, not the money.
Because you don't want to pay Cadillac prices for a Buick.
Exactly. But I've got the money to buy it. I can buy the Cadillac if I want it. So don't let the Larry Markkinen costs get in the way. Don't let the $56 million that Jalen's already got on his contract get in the way. The league is structured for you to pay 2 dudes and probably 3 if one of them will give you a break. And I'm talking about 3 dudes making $45 to $55 million a year.
I mean, the Suns have 3 guys making $50 million a year, and look what it got them.
Well, but I'm saying the money is there. You can do it. You got to have the right dudes, but you can afford to do it if you do it correctly. So I don't want this to get in the small market mindset of we can't afford it. Yeah, you can afford it if you do it right.
But also, the thought is if the Spurs, we've been saying, what are they trying to do? They're trying to kind of copy what Oklahoma City's doing right now.
And that would be.
This is the opposite of what Oklahoma City's doing.
But then again, did Oklahoma City have the opportunity to go get a Jaylen Brown, to go trade for a Kevin Durant? I mean, not.
Well, they had Paul George. Remember, they did that, and they said, well, that was dumb. Let's get rid of him.
But, I mean, right. But did they have the opportunity in this current day? They actually drafted well. They didn't have to go looking, but they could. They could afford it if they chose to.
Sure. I'm curious to see what direction the Spurs go here. I think there's a lot of options. Jaylen Brown is he is my worst nightmare. He is a guy who's paid like a top 10 player who is like a top 25 player. Like, I think Jaylen Brown's a good player. I think Jaylen Brown makes way more money than he should. And if I was going to spend that kind of money, I would want a player that I know I would want a Giannis. If I'm going to pay a Giannis price, I don't want Jaylen Brown for a Giannis price tag.
Yeah, but there's also I agree with that.
It's like Bradley Beal's cost $50 million.
Yeah, but that's different.
I don't want to pay Bradley Beal the same amount of money that I would pay for Steph Curry.
Jaylen, to some extent, is still a bit of an unscratched lottery ticket. He still had to share so much time, but I do know.
Well, he'd have to do it here too.
No, well, a little bit different because he was sharing time with a dude that played the same position. It was very strange what they've been doing the last couple of years. No, he'll never, and that's also a benefit. The guy's used to sharing it, but I also feel like if he's a guy that would, if he was on any other team, would be the lead dog and get the 56. I think he's perfectly capable of being a top 10 player. He just hasn't had the access to the time because he's sharing it with Tatum. But I quantify him as a top 10, 15 player. I do.
J4 says comparing Paul George to Jaylen is crazy. You got to remember what Paul George was when the Thunder got him. Like, it's not that far off. Paul George was looked at as one of the best players in the league back then.
Yeah, he's younger. I don't get the argument.
It's not that crazy. Like Paul George, you're thinking of Paul George today. Paul George 7-8 years ago was looked at as like a future superstar of this league, if not already a superstar in this league.
Jaylen won a title and also got Finals MVP. He's better than George.
I don't know. I don't know if he is.
Well, 8 years ago they were equal. The only separator is Jaylen now has a title and a Finals MVP, and George has never had access to it. But some total career, Jaylen Brown's had a better one.
Paul George is and has been the most overrated player for the last 10 years.
Simmer down.
All right. And dude was like first team All NBA. I think now once he got injured, I think that he started to fall off, and people still paid for him like he hadn't fallen off. And that's dumb.
Well, the playoff P showed.
Yeah.
I mean that's part of the argument. Playoff P wasn't all the time, but no, he's a baller. Not overrated.
Yeah, and Chris says Paul George is washed. Well, yeah, he is now.
He's done.
But when he came to Oklahoma City, Paul George was not washed by any stretch.
No, his first 2 years in L.A.
But they decided the best thing to do is move on from him and go young, and it obviously has worked out for Oklahoma City. All right, let's hit a break. We'll wrap up hour number 2 on the other side of this thing. But, Rob, I need to hear about your doctor. Give me the news.
Dr. Jacob Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. He's my doctor. He is my primary care physician. It didn't start that way. When I first walked into the Institute for Functional Health 8 years ago, it was certainly available to me, but I didn't really know what was in store for me. I just wanted to feel better. And the first key to that was losing weight, and that's where he really made his bones. You know, as a primary care physician, he has access to some thought processes that just guys off the street might not have. He's a highly trained medical professional, not some kind of internet fad diet. And he told me the truth when I sat down with him. Look, there's ways to lose weight that are fast and inefficient, and there's other ways that are more of an appropriate way to lose, that you can actually keep weight off, and he wanted to work with me there. He had with hundreds of others. By now, it's thousands of others. But when we first started, it was a game plan that was put together only for me, and it's a plan that I'm still following now. 8 years later, I'm still down 85 pounds. I'm still losing the weight steadily, and I'll tell you what, I feel better every day. If you wake up every morning chasing that first cup of coffee, trying to find that sugar rush just to keep moving, you need to find a better way. Life can improve. Call Dr. Torres today. Let him explain to you exactly why he's been so successful with me and other people just like me. The number's 210-468-1891. His website is iffhealth.com. Listen, if it's time, you know it is. Make the decision to change your life for the better. Call Dr. Torres today, and I know you're going to come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got some road work that could possibly slow you down this early morning. 35 southbound, Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. That right lane is closed. 35 on the frontage road northbound, 410 to Rittiman. Roadway is reduced to one lane. Got a full-on closure downtown on 35 lower level, southbound Alamo to Laredo Street. And on 35 northbound, just past 37-281, that's a stalled 18-wheeler. It's been moved off to the right shoulder, so your main lanes are getting by. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples.
Bobby Bones here with some easy trivia. What does the Staples Easy button say? That was easy. Boom. I mean, that was easy. You knew that, right? And now you know to press it for prints, shipping, and even passport photos. Plus, next day delivery to over 98% of the U.S. I see you, Staples. That was easy.
The right stuff. Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery on the perfect gift to help Dad do more this Father's Day. Because Dad is more than just a dad. He's groundskeeper of the yard, the perfecter of the patio, and the cleaner of the clippings. Power Dad's doing with Ryobi cordless outdoor power tools from the Home Depot. Like the Ryobi 40-volt string trimmer kit for $159. For everything Dad is, find the perfect gift at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. You can do that with Orchard. Orchard puts cash into your pockets. You can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. Then you buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Learn how you can make more with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, this time it's mandatory. The Cowboys kicking off mandatory minicamp.
Micah Parsons is there, but what is he doing? We'll hear from Brian Schottenheimer on that and the good night call he got from Micah the other day.
How sweet. And Shireen Williams will join us at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is a crazy
grief,
song.
Stop this.
What the hell is going on here?
Making me nervous.
Yeah, a lot of Paul George slander on the
right
on the Brigade Bar. I mean, and Rin says, man, he tries so hard to justify his beliefs. This isn't about my beliefs. Like, Paul George, when he was in Oklahoma City, was first team All-NBA, first team All-Defense. But yeah, he was washed then. Don't be stupid. Like, don't let your personal feelings about a guy get in the way of what he was considered at that point. Like,
you're showing your age too.
Yeah, it's not me. Like, I don't like Paul George. I'm not like a Paul George backer or supporter, especially at this point. But there was a time when Paul George did things that Jaylen Brown hasn't done. Jaylen Brown hasn't been a first-team All-NBA guy. They are Paul George at the time was a beast.
Well,
I mean, you got to think back. That was 2019. We're talking about 8 years ago.
We digress. The thing was with Jaylen Brown, and is he worthy of the money and getting him here? Much like Paul George wasn't cheap when he moved either. I mean, he was getting paid appropriate to the time. Does he fit? And Paul George found a place where he fit. He moved to a place where he didn't. It just, the circumstances were with him and injury, the quality of his game never decreased, but he was playing with guys like Kawhi, who was never around, and old teams. It just never worked out.
Right.
But there was no question about his worthiness of getting paid and going to play for a title. He just has faded into the sunset now. Jaylen Brown is in the midst of his best part of his career, and while he's expensive, brings a lot to the table. And I don't want the Spurs to take the mentality of, oh, we're small, we can't afford him. Milwaukee went all in. Now, they got him a ring, but didn't afterwards, but they paid 3 dudes a bunch of money. They could have afforded Milwaukee. The Spurs can too. You just got to choose correctly. Milwaukee didn't. the Spurs need to.
Well, Milwaukee kind of did.
Well, I mean, they did all they
get a
could.
ring, if you get a ring out of it, you know what? Anytime you get a ring, I'm not gonna complain about the way you did it.
They did all they could. They paid the guys appropriately to what their performance level, and things just kind of degraded. But as the Spurs look at this and they're looking at Lowry Markin or Jaylen Brown, I don't want Spurs fans to go, we can't afford it. I'll worry about what we can afford 3 years from now. Appropriately planned, but don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Claymore says George never reached that same level he once was before the injury in Indiana.
True.
Claymore, he's been first team All-NBA one time, and it was after he left Indiana.
Yeah, he's well, why do we have to justify this?
I just don't understand
I don't know why we're arguing about
I don't know
Paul
either.
George.
I don't know why I'm having to
can't
defend
write
it.
The story of the NBA over the last 10 years without Paul George being part of the story. And he's worthy of all the accolades and some of the blame. It just didn't work out.
Yep. But that's my worry about. And the thing with Paul George is the thought was Paul George can be the man somewhere. And I think it's the same question I would have about Jaylen Brown.
We don't know.
I don't know. I know Giannis can be the man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hesitant to pay anybody top 10, 15 player money if I don't know they can be like the dude. And Jaylen Brown is a big question mark to me.
Well, the good news is Spurs don't need a dude. I mean, it'd be nice to get that dude, but they just need a very important piece.
Yeah.
This is going to be a team made up of really good pieces.
But when you pay a guy $60 million a year.
And you're right. You have to choose appropriately, and he would be your highest paid dude until Wemby's contract came up. But sometimes that's just how things go. I just can't imagine that the Spurs are going to make this deal for Jaylen Brown. There's some other things that go along with it. It's a bit of a logjam, and I think that they can get what he does cheaper. But
I think so too. But I mean, quite frankly, I think Dylan Harper might be able to be what he is.
Maybe. I think that's part of the conversation here. But as we move forward, my point is for the Spurs, I want you to act like you're a team that is paying De'Aaron Fox, that's ready to pay Wemby, that has plenty of money to pay the next guy with Dylan Harper and Steph Castle in line to get paid too. Act as if and figure it out when you have to. Don't limit your future because today you think, well, I might not have the money in 3 years. This is the NBA. You'll have the money. It's just you just might have to make a painful decision when you get there. But don't limit today because you're worried about 3 years ago, 3 years from now funding that.
Yeah,
I don't
think about it like that. I just think if you are going to do that, if you are going to spend that money, you got to spend it the right way. The Phoenix Suns just spent it the wrong way.
Yes.
The Phoenix Suns said, we're not going to play like a poor organization. The Phoenix Suns have 3 of the top 7 salaries in the NBA. And I don't know that any of the 3 of them should be top 10 paid players in the league at this point.
Well, when the deals were, the Bradley Beal one was
that's a disaster.
Penalty. They didn't make that deal. They traded for it. You know, and that was part of the dead monies.
But that was also them thinking this is the 3rd guy of our big 3.
And it was stupid.
It was a mistake.
And
you can't do it. You can't afford those mistakes.
2 owners and 4 coaches since then.
Yeah.
So that's a franchise that hasn't been run well. But at least, and this is Phoenix. I mean, they're not the biggest of markets. They're not the supermarket. They're bigger than ours. But they certainly have the wherewithal to come up with the money.
Yeah, there's just certain guys that when I see their salary, I go, it feels like if you're paying that guy, you're saying we just need someone right now. Like Zach LaVine's one of these guys. I can't imagine a world where I want to pay Zach LaVine $45, $50 million a year. But at the time when he was in Chicago, it's like, well, who else are they going to pay? Like you've got money to spend. No one else is knocking at no one else on your team is worthy of paying that money.
Yeah,
he's the best thing you got. I mean, this is what he's asking for. You pay it.
That's how the league is built. You pay your best players more, even though they might not be better someplace else. They are. He was in Chicago.
But I don't want to take that on because because you made a mistake. You had to overpay for something. You know what I mean?
Well, those dead money deals, if you make it at the right time, are brilliant. When you can pick up a $50 million deal or a $40 million that comes off your cap at the right time. Those are valuable chess pieces to have. You want to have one of those dudes to move because players, like right now, the Spurs wish they had some old dude at the end of his contract getting grossly overpaid.
Oh, yeah.
Because getting going and getting Durant would be easy.
It'd be a lot easier.
So those dudes, while the play might not be valuable, the depreciating asset that they have become are. So eventually that Beal deal will be worth something the moment somebody can pull it off their cap. It's an unfortunate sidebar to the way the NBA is set up, but those guys do hold some value.
But when they brought Bradley Beal in, it wasn't to be dead
he was
money
gonna
down
be
the
the
road.
stud. Him and John Wall were supposed to be. It was stupid, and they all paid the price. Everybody involved with that deal's been fired on both sides of it.
Chris says, "Don't waste a draft pick on Harper."
Oh,
dude,
shut up!
I don't get the Harper hate. If you think Dylan Harper is no good, I don't think you've seen Dylan Harper play.
And the thing about this is, I can get the speculation 6 weeks ago when I'm not sure Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, but as we have gotten closer and closer to the draft, everybody, not just most, there is not one person of merit that has evaluated this draft that does not have Dylan Harper number 2. Not one. Now, there might be a harebrained dude that says, Ace Bailey's taller. Okay, one or two outliers, but to a man, I don't care whether you're an NBA scout, a TV scout, a professional scout, whatever you are, everybody's like, Dylan Harper is the number 2 pick, and there ain't any question about it.
I'm not any of those things. I'm not a scout by any stretch, but as someone who watched college basketball all year, I can tell you with certainty the gap between Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, and everyone else is massive.
So anybody don't waste your pick? Come on, man.
Yeah, this is like the Spurs getting that number, like the number 3 pick, there'd be a lot of questions about what you do at 3.
Then we could argue.
Like when the ping pong balls popped up, number 1, there was no question what that was going to be. Number 2, in my mind, there was no question what that was going to be. Everything beyond that is a crapshoot at this point. It's how does it fit? What's that? And my thought when the Spurs did get the 2 was, boy, that's a lot of guards.
Well, there's your argument. Now that would be the argument. I will entertain you. We don't necessarily need. Well, that's a discussion that I'm willing to have. But to say it's a wasted pick, no, he is by far the second best player in the draft.
And the asset alone, you have to take him. And then if somebody says, hey, we want to trade for him, well, okay, let's talk about it. But the asset alone, if you take anyone other than Dylan Harper, you're making a mistake.
I'm not going to listen to anybody. Don't waste your pick. You lost all credibility with me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Show me on the doll where Dylan Harper touched you. Dylan Harper's a baller, dude. That dude is the truth. And again, how he fits on the Spurs, to be seen. To be seen. And year 1, I assume he would be 6th, 7th man. But great defender, can handle the ball. He does all the things you want. I'm not out on him. But yeah, the Spurs, what they have is options, which is a very nice thing.
Glorious thing to have. And if they did absolutely nothing, they still have Steph Castle, the number 2 pick, De'Aaron Fox, and Wemby to start the season next year. So worst case scenario is we're standing pat and building. We couldn't be in a better situation. I just know that right now, when you have the opportunity to truly catapult your organization, to truly just do something that no matter what the outcome, it'll be a pivot point in the franchise, you do it. And I think they've got a chance here to swing for the fences and legitimately park one. You know what? We can be discerning. We can make the right move. And if it ain't right, you don't got to do it.
And that's the very first time I think obviously when they drafted Wemby, they became a story, certainly. But now it feels like the Spurs are a team that people are talking about as a team that's coming. When it was just Wemby, it was Wemby and a bunch of scrubs, and it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of teams like that that draft number 1 overall and have a good player, and good luck seeing what that turns into. Now it feels like there's a core built here, and it's an opportunity to add to it. And the fact that we're talking about Giannis or Kevin Durant or Jaylen Brown, you think anybody in Charlotte right now is talking about adding one of those guys? No.
Now, you get this about every 15 years.
It is a rare opportunity, man. It really is.
And the fact is, for the most part, I think most of the Spurs fans trust that the Spurs are going to make the appropriate decision. We can argue whether it's right or wrong, but appropriateness, I think they'll make whatever that decision is, will feel about 80% of what you wanted, because it'll be you never get everything. And I think they're going to be safe as they can with a bold move.
I think so, too.
It'll be something bold, but it won't be crazy. It won't be something that's just absolutely insane like landing a Giannis. But they're going to bring somebody in that will cost a nominal amount that we'll all agree the Spurs feel better. Maybe not perfect, but they feel better.
Yeah. No, I agree. Chris says Trey Johnson took UT to the NCAA tournament. Rutgers didn't even make the tournament. We simply disagree.
We like Trey Johnson, too.
I love Trey Johnson.
Yes.
But listen, there's a lot of really good players that weren't. I mean, Trey Johnson was on a team that was loaded with talent and underperformed. I'm not saying that Rutgers didn't also, but Rutgers had two good players and like a bunch of guys that were barely D1 capable.
And if the Spurs were drafting fourth, I'd love to have him.
I would too. Absolutely.
But they got a guy that's better.
You can't pass this guy up, in my opinion. All right. Man, halfway there already on a Tuesday. We've got Louis the Singer tickets coming up later on in the show.
It's country singer.
That's right. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
KTFM Floresville, your home for the Super Bowl. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by H-E-B. H-E-B's here to help you celebrate Dad the Texas way. Stop in for gifts, cards, grilling must-haves, and more for a special Father's Day he won't forget. All at H-E-B's everyday low prices. H-E-B. Here, everything's better.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey guys, are you or your spouse looking to lose weight in time for summer? Head over to any Synergenics or Low T Center for prescription weight loss treatment options. If you qualify for treatment, you can get a free B12 shot when you start. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So, who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your travel time on 35 southbound from Evans to 1604. That's going to take you about 15 minutes. 10-minute ride, 1604 eastbound Bandera as you make your way on over to I-10. A solid 30-minute ride on 1604 westbound from I-10 on over to 281. And 1604 northbound I-10 to 35, making your way through the Live Oak area. About a 17-minute ride. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, San Antonio Spurs guard De'Aaron Fox told the Houston Chronicle that he definitely hoped to sign a long-term deal with the Spurs this offseason, according to the Houston Chronicle. Fox is eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension this offseason, but the earliest he can sign it is August the 3rd. Rumors are bouncing regarding the number 14 pick that the Spurs own. They look to upgrade the roster, and it could be on the move, according to Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
8:01 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Happy Tuesday, everybody. AJ and Rob getting you through it. Vic on the other side of the glass. Slick Vic, they call him, in the club. You can find him in the club, bottle full of bub.
I don't go out anymore.
No?
Nah.
Damn.
I'm too old to be clubbing.
You're into having sex. You ain't into making love.
Oh, yeah. I'm enjoying my mortgage.
That's right.
Yeah. Stay at home.
What was the last club you hit? Like, dance, like club?
Do you want to know that? Well, okay.
Vegas doesn't count.
Vegas doesn't count. Then,
well, Vegas does count. The Strip doesn't, because you live there. So,
okay.
The Strip.
Well, the last time I went to a club in Vegas, I didn't live there, but I went to Hakkasan on the Strip, like probably 7 years ago.
I can't. Normally I find clubs when I'm out, like Super Bowl and things like that.
Mm-hmm. It's not my scene, man.
No,
it's really not.
I haven't been to a straight up club in a long time.
Before that, it's when I lived in Austin, I used to go to a club called Paradox.
Sounds like a club.
I want to say it was on 5th Street, maybe 4th Street. Yeah, that's a long
you
time.
You went to a club called Paradox, and we had to tell you that a band was called Erasure? You didn't know that?
Dude, Paradox was a hip-hop club. It wasn't one of these.
Changed
some
owners.
nerdy-ass 80s.
New management.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
John said, or Gilbert says, is there a scenario where Castle, Fox, and Harper can all start alongside Wemby, or is there not enough ball touches for that? And John says, too many small guards, Gilbert.
No.
I got news for you if you think Dylan Harper's a small guard. He's about 6'6", 220.
Anybody paying attention what Oklahoma City's rolling out? Are you watching Shea, Caruso, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, and a big dude? It's all guards, man.
Yep. And De'Aaron Fox is small. Steph Castle is not small.
No, he's small. Yeah,
there's not too many small guards. You can afford to have 3 guards on the floor. You just can't afford to have 3 guys who are 6'2" on the floor. Dylan Harper's a big body. Steph Castle's a big body.
Yeah, Dylan will grow. He's skinny, but we're talking about a 6.
I think he's Cade Cunningham.
Okay, yeah, look at Cade Cunningham. Get out of the 1 through 5 mindset. That's dead.
I think so too.
Now there's still 1s and 2s, and there's still 4s and 5s, but it's a combination of those that all kind of roll in together. You don't have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 anymore. No one does. So that idea is silly. Whenever anybody says, "Well, we got too many guards," that's dumb. That's a dumb premise. Now, the size of the guard and how the guard plays, that's more important.
What I don't really love is that you'd have a bunch of guards and you have a 5 who wants to be a guard.
Yes, I can find faults in every idea of how you build a basketball team. But the idea, the game is still positioned, but it's not 1 through 5. It's big and little. That's all there is. There's big dudes that play big, and there's big dudes that play little, and you count them as a little. But there's bigs and there's littles, and you have to run the right combination of bigs and littles. And if you have the right, you don't have to be huge. You just have to have the right combination. And Oklahoma City is the perfect example. They are just as good defensively when Hartenstein is in as when Chet is in, because they defend the edges in. And they do that with 3 guards on the court at any given time. They always have 3 on the court.
Yeah, when Chet and Hartenstein are on the floor together, it's not like they're. If one of them's on the floor, they're the 5.
Yes,
if they're both on the floor, they're just bigs.
Chet is suddenly a little.
Yeah.
It's not your size; it's your attitude. You have bigs and you have littles, and you just have to have the right combination of the two.
And ideally, guys like Chet, who is a big, who can play big and play little, like having that versatility, and that's why I would love to see Wemby start to play more big offensively.
He will.
But yeah, you've got everybody's sort of. It's almost like I'm fluid. When you play in the NBA,
you have to
fluid.
Now you have to.
There are guys who are married into, like, De'Aaron Fox is never going to body up somebody else's 3.
No,
they're just not. But
he will just as quickly dribble coast to coast for a layup or pull up for a 3. He can do the different levels of basketball. He's a little, but he plays different parts of the court.
But having him on the floor with Fox, having Fox on the floor with Castle and a guy like Dylan Harper, especially, you won't lose anything defensively because it's not like you're going to be able to say, oh, well, we'll just throw too many big bodies at them. Like, it's just done. You've got guys who have enough size to do it. You can afford to have 1 little guy on the floor. You can afford, you can afford to have 2 little guys, depending on what your team is, as long as your team's built the right way. It's just very old school to think you can't have 3 guards playing, or you can't.
3 forwards. It's just a silly premise that you're lost in a style of basketball that no longer exists, or at least not after 8th grade.
Before Steph Castle came here, who was the Spurs backcourt?
Well, we had 9 dudes that kind of came through. We had Jeremy Sohan playing point guard a year and a half ago.
You didn't really even have a guy who would be considered a point guard. And
by design,
And if I told you, Keldon Johnson, put him in a position, that's his. Like, there really isn't one. Like, he's just a basketball player.
But I would define him as a big, even though he's not.
I think so too.
I would define him as his realm of polish is from the free throw line in.
Okay.
That's just kind of where he's going to be more successful.
Harrison Barnes technically was your starting 4 this year.
He's a little.
He's not a big. His game is.
His area of influence is 18 feet out, even though he's 6'8". You just quantify him a different way.
Yeah, that's just the way you got to look at basketball now. There's not too many guards on the floor. You do have to have some big and some little. I still believe that.
Absolutely, you do.
But drafting a 6'6" combo guard is not going to throw things off, because Dylan Harper is going to be able to defend probably 1 through 4.
He will eventually. Yes.
And look at Alex Caruso, defends 1 through 5.
Exactly. So, and those guys are findable and fluid, like you just used. You could run Caruso on, as you started your 5, you could run him at small forward or at point guard, and you wouldn't notice the difference.
Yep. No, I just don't think. I just think there's a lot of fluidity in positions today in the NBA, and you just get the best players you can get and make it work. You know what I mean?
The best teams do that. The best teams get the best players available and make it work.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think, like, if when Oklahoma City drafted Chet, they had the number 2 pick. If Orlando had decided to take Chet and Banchero was the second guy, they would have found a way to make that work.
Yes.
Like, you just
they drafted, what's the kid's name's Topic last year?
Yeah.
Another guard. They have another guard that they
That's
drafted.
coming.
That they already had Caruso. They already had. Well, they made the move for Caruso.
No, they hadn't made it.
They hadn't made it, but they
had Giddey at the time.
They had Giddey, so they weren't afraid to go and keep drafting the best dude available, and we'll make it work, and they did.
Yep, and that's how you build the depth that they've got. Is you just keep taking good players.
And then they traded the guy they drafted for more dudes,
Yep.
Giddey. So I'm not upset with the premise of taking it. I don't care if there was another point guard that was his number 2 pick overall. We just signed De'Aaron to everything. We take the second best player in the draft and we figure it out after that.
That's kind of where I sit. You just draft good players, and Dylan Harper is, to me, without question, the second best player in the draft. So
you're going to love him. If you haven't watched enough of him, you're going to love him.
I think people will come around. People will come around to it.
He's a bucket getter. He's not a scorer. He's a bucket getter, and he'll do it in ways that we haven't seen in a minute.
And he can defend. He can create. He does everything, man. He is so good. There was a time, and this shows you I'm not a scout, but there was a time early in the season when I was telling Rob, I was like, dude, go watch Dylan Harper because I think he might be better than Cooper Flagg. And I really think at the beginning of the season, he was better than Cooper Flagg.
Probably a little bit more polished. Certainly had more room to.
Now, obviously, the upside of Cooper Flagg is so seemingly unlimited that I've come around that, if I had the first pick, I would take Cooper Flagg too, despite the fact that I really loved what Dylan Harper was doing. And it's not like it's early in the season Rutgers was a good team. I could tell early on because I am not an Ace Bailey guy. I could tell that was a very, very flawed team. But you can tell greatness even when it's on a bad team, and Dylan Harper is going to be great. I am very much sold on him.
Watch it. We don't have a left-handed scorer. We haven't had a guy like him in a minute. He's fun to watch. You're going to really enjoy him.
Yeah, I think people are going to be really into him. And Claymore mentions Topic is only 19 years old,
dude, and they drafted him, but we forget that guy's coming. I mean,
God, it's never ending. That's why I tell you, man, I really think that's a dynasty in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And I know it's a bold thing to say for a team that hasn't won one yet, but
it kind of feels like, and this is a long time ago, and I have no idea how good Topic can be. I remember his highlights coming out when the Spurs won a title and then Manu walked in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, we're going to be here a long time.
Yeah.
And Topic has that kind of skill set where there'll be days. Now, he'll never look better than Shai Gilgeous, but I remember when Manu showed up, about practice 3, guys were walking around like, he's the best guy on the court. I mean, they were already saying that after the 3rd practice, and Tim was practicing. And we were like, this guy's already as good as Tim. So I get the sense when Topic does show up and he can do some of the things offensively as far as passing and delivering the ball that nobody on the roster can do right now, that he will have that immediate ripple effect to where they're already better.
Now, and I mean, who knows? Maybe Topic ends up not being anything. But I remember when the Rockets drafted a guy. You may remember this. This was like late 2000s. They drafted a kid named Sergio Yul, who was like supposed to be like the best player in Spain. Played for Real Madrid in Spain. He was like this wonder kid, and when all Rockets fan would talk about is, wait till you see Sergio Yul. I don't think Sergio Yul ever played in the NBA. I don't think he ever had any. But he's like a EuroLeague MVP, like multiple times. Like this dude was like, he's the truth over there. He just never wanted to come to the U.S. I assume Topic isn't that, but there's always that possibility. You draft those Euros, I always say, I'll believe in that guy when I see him come over here and put on a jersey.
It's not so much him, but it's, to me, I wanted to reinforce the fact that this Oklahoma City is chock full of guards. I mean, they got a lot of guards, and they drafted another one. They didn't need to draft a guard, but they
just drafted who they think is the best guy.
Dude available, and they didn't need him, but eventually he will pay dividends. That's how the great teams are formed.
Yep. Frank says Trey Johnson's the best shooter in the draft class.
Might be.
That's it, and I like Trey. He's certainly in that conversation.
Man, I hate when we get into this situation where we're having to defend the fact that Dylan Harper would be drafted ahead of Trey Johnson. Yes, he would be, but if the Spurs were drafting 3, I would be all over Trey Johnson. He's the 3rd best player in the draft in my mind.
Yeah, I just think that Dylan Harper is a guy who would go number 1 4 years out of 5, yes. And it just happens to be a crazy year where there's somebody who is looked at as a little bit better than him.
Not just a little. There's a reason. There is a reason why there's a chasm, and it's not taking anything away from Trey Johnson or VJ Edgecombe or you name anybody else who you like in the top 10. It's just a matter that there are 2 that are better than everybody else.
Yep, that's the way I see it. And like I said, I see Dylan Harper closer to Cooper Flagg than I do to anybody else in the draft. So, I think the gap between 1 and 2 is smaller than the gap between 2 and 3.
Everyone agrees. We're not out on outliers on this. This is what it is. That there's 1 and 2, and then
all the experts seem to think that too.
A 3rd draft pick, it could be 4 different dudes, but the 2nd draft pick, you know exactly where it's going to be. So I'm not going to get lost in, well, if this guy would help us because this guy can shoot better. No,
but I'm with you. Rob and I both talked about Trey Johnson this season. Like, dude, this guy can ball.
Yes.
And I think Trey Johnson's going to be really good.
Maybe out the gate might have more skills and show off more than Harper does or some others. But in the long run, Harper's going to be a better basketball player.
Although, you know who the best shooter in the draft this year was? Dalton Connect.
He's unmovable. No, the guy in front of him is unmovable.
Then they tried to trade him, and they had to take him back. I mean, I think Trey Johnson's better than Dalton Connect, but still,
and I still think the jury's out on Connect too.
Yeah, but you got to be able to do more than shoot, especially if you're going to be the number 2 pick overall. Yeah, you better have a full range of game, and that's what I love about Dylan Harper, full range of game. All right, let's get away from basketball for a bit. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm sitting here comfortably in my easy chair. I'm not worried about my shower, my water softener. You know, I talk about water softeners for my business, but the fact of the matter is, if you ever have to think about your water softener, you probably have a problem. If you've thought about your water softener the last 6 months because you're buying too much salt, or you looked at your power bill and wondered, who's taking so many showers and why is my water heater always on? If you're thinking about it, you got a problem. The great thing about a Connecticut, no worries. I haven't thought about my Connecticut at home for years. It just works. No problems, no fuss, no muss. There's a reason why it's been in San Antonio's households forever. It is the best you can get for this part of the world. And so many people think, well, it's the best. Probably costs. No, it's no more than any others. You got great deals. The cost effective is right there with them. The warranty, Apple's the best you're going to find. I wish I could tell you more. I've never had to use mine. So if you've ever wanted a Connecticut, now's the time. If you'll call 656-PURE today, they'll come out and put a new Connecticut in your home if you're already plumbed for a water system. They'll put it in there for the next 90 days, and it won't cost you a penny. You'll see what I'm talking about. On that 91st day you're ready to buy, they're not only going to give you great credit deals with approved credit, 24 months, no money down, they'll also give you some money for the water system that you currently have. So what are you waiting on? Call 656-PURE. Get yourself a Connecticut, and then put it to bed. Don't worry about it anymore. And at that point, you can come by and thank me later.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits in Selma.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Oh.
Did I see that Ozzy's going to have his last performance here in the next couple of weeks?
I don't believe it.
It's going to be not even live. I think it's going to have to watch it on like.
It's hard to believe he's still alive.
Dude.
Jeez.
I know, man.
He's pretty bad shape, man.
He is, man. You know why? Because he peed on the Alamo.
You think so?
Karma. It's karma.
That's years of drugs.
That too.
Yeah, that too, a little bit.
What's funny is, like Ozzy, you would have thought he was. Remember when the Osbournes was on the show?
Yeah.
You would have thought he was 80 years old when that show was on.
Yeah, I thought his time was
Dude,
near dead.
he's like 75 years old today. He's not that old.
No, he's not.
But like he seems like he's been 100 years old forever. It's crazy. You know what? My wife, what a woman.
Lovely woman.
What a woman. Rob, you've met my wife.
I have.
She's a beautiful woman and so damn smart.
Well, I question her decision making with one.
There are
There's
things
one.
like that. Yeah.
But other than that,
she said canceled the warranty claim for the outlets today.
GFC just had to poke the button.
Well, because remember, there's no buttons in our bathroom, so there was nothing to push.
Was it your fuse
But
pop?
she said these didn't have reset buttons. So she says, I Googled and found out that resetting a GFCI in another totally random spot can reset the outlets that don't have the buttons.
That's true.
She said, so I went upstairs to the bathroom upstairs, hit the GFCI reset on that, and now all the outlets work.
Yep. My kitchen is that way. I have the GFC in there and then in the bathroom.
My gut says use your warranty anyway.
Why?
Go put it in your bathroom. Why would you want to have to run to the other bathroom to reset your GFI?
I mean, I could just buy a GFCI plug and install it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't need a warranty to do that.
Over my many years, I do not mess with water or electricity.
I mean, that's a wise thing.
If you have to put on boots or rubber gloves, I ain't doing it. So I'm not putting it in, but I'm just saying you've got the warranty right now. You're already paying for it. Just have them put in
Well, it's you pay a service fee every time they come out.
So there's
like I'm not going to pay $85 for something I could do myself.
Shoot, yeah, that's true. I like my straight hair. I don't want to electrocute myself into a fro.
I don't have to worry about that.
Singe my eyebrows off.
I got that thing that'll test if your power's on.
The voltmeter?
Yeah, the
Dude.
voltmeter. Yeah, I got
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those.
You know, mine, I have that same thing. It's
Oh, yeah.
touch it right.
No, that's why you're scared.
I take a coat hanger and just.
Oh, yeah. If it sparks, yeah, it's still on.
You think that's on? Hey, son, why don't you pee on that fence? See if that's electrocuted.
Let's see. Chris says, "How old is Ozzy?" Let me look that up and see exactly how old he is. I think he's not even 80. He's 76 years old.
That's in my parlance. That's called rode hard and put up wet.
My goodness, dude. Like I said, when was that Osborne show on? That was like 2000, right?
It's been 20 years, yeah.
So that was 25 years ago.
He was 75 then. You're right.
He was 50 when that show was on. Like, think about he was 5 years older then than I am now. Wow. And he seemed like a ghoul of some kind. Sharon. And he was 50. 50. That's crazy. So yeah, if Ozzy's having his last concert, it's probably time. Although I will say this: when Ozzy's on stage, he still brings it. Like it's one of those things where performing, you can't tell how ancient he is. It's just when he actually talks. It's I
can't understand him. Yeah.
It's like when you see the Stones play, you don't know that they're British until Mick Jagger comes off stage and starts talking, and then he sounds like a British guy.
Ozzy sounds Brit. Yeah,
Ozzy sounds like a rocker, and then he comes off stage and he sounds like a 90-year-old man.
So the show I'm talking about just isn't him; it's with Black Sabbath.
Okay, the full band.
Back to the beginning. Looks like you'll be able to stream it for $29.99. I'm trying to find the date.
Where is it going? Is it going to be in England?
I'm sure.
It's in Birmingham, something like that.
Yeah, Birmingham.
No,
it is in Birmingham.
It's Birmingham.
It'll be at Birmingham. The final show will be at Villa Park in Aston, Birmingham, and it'll be available live stream via Mercury Studios, July the 5th.
So Tommy and Geezer and the boys are all going to be out there. Billy Ward. All right, baby.
Did they bring Dio back just to close the door?
I don't think so.
No, did he make them all mad?
I don't think so, but very cool. By the way, I'm making fun of Ozzy in a way. I know Ozzy's got, I think he's got, what's the Michael J. Fox thing? Parkinson. So it's like, I get it, but you can tell. You know what I mean?
It was spurred on by other chemicals. I think it was hastened. Brought forward a little sooner because of the cocaine.
Amongst other things,
cocaine.
I would say.
I wonder if he had the pink stuff.
Ozzy had all the best cocaine. I think Ozzy had the white stuff, the pink stuff, the brown stuff.
Remember that era where he was biting the heads off of bats and pigeons?
Oh, yes.
Those are the good old days.
Had some good coke then.
Yeah, well.
Dude, if you're biting the head off a bat, you've got some really good coke.
Stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or bath salts. I mean, Rob lived in Florida. He knows all about bath salts. That's Florida cocaine, bath salts.
Yeah.
Nothing like eating the face off your neighbor. A bad trip.
That's actually how The Walking Dead started. That show, The Walking Dead, started with someone eating bath salts.
I think that was the beginning.
Yeah.
Deltona, Florida. Where it all started.
Where it all began. Hey, NFL for a quick moment. Did you see the breakdown? Remember we talked about Aaron Rodgers only making 13.65 M's.
That's it?
But he's got a chance to make it up to almost 20 M's.
And they're easily attainable.
Attainable. All to get $500,000. All he's got to do is get the Steelers to the playoffs. If the Steelers make the playoffs, an extra $500,000, extra half an M.
Lowercase.
If the Steelers advance to the divisional round, now it could be a wild card win where he's got to play at least 50% of the snaps, or a first round bye, $600,000. Okay,
and really that's not a huge bump. But now if you get one of those, you're going to get the other, I would assume. So there's $1 million right there.
Now you win that game, you win that divisional game, $750K.
So now we're at $1.7 million, $1.8 million.
That's right. Now
that's a big ask, though. I'm not sure that 750 is coming.
Now you get the Steelers to the AFC Championship. You win the AFC Championship. That's an M right there. 1 M added to the salary.
And that's 1 M to the salary. If Aaron Rodgers leads the Pittsburgh Steelers to the AFC Championship.
To the Super Bowl
to the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers will be the biggest thing in the United States.
Oh, my God.
It will be on. He'll lead the news. We'll know all about his girlfriends. He will be the biggest sports story in the world if he manages to do this.
1.5 M's if they win the Super Bowl, as long as he plays 50% of the snaps.
Well.
Another 1.5 M's if he wins the AP MVP award.
And I think one would go with the other. If he manages to get his team, even to the AFC Championship game, he'll get an MVP.
Sure.
And you know what? I will bow down in front.
I will too. But I don't expect that to be happening.
No, he won't even finish the season.
Now, all you got to do is make it to the playoffs. Playoff berth seems realistic. I mean,
we spent the first hour of the show talking about Cincinnati just imploding on itself. So it's a little bit easier.
The Steelers, their win total is 8.5. I mean, Mike Tomlin, in his entire history of life, has never had a losing record.
It's going to happen this year.
I tend to think so, too.
It's going to collapse on him.
But if you have a winning record, you have a chance to make the playoffs. There's a good chance.
So he doesn't have any stat-driven?
Nothing.
So he has.
It's all team-driven.
Well, you know, that's the team driving that bargain. And that's also him having zero faith in this offense, or you'd be driving a personal.
Would you have any faith in this offense?
No, and I'm not sure how much your agent can really drive the bargain, but this is obviously a contract that was written by Pittsburgh.
Well, remember, he was going to play for 10 M's, and then he played for 13.65.
And then I think maybe the sacrifice was the elimination of, if you throw 10 touchdown passes, there's $250,000. Those easy, attainable ones for team goals. That was written by the Steelers, not by his agent.
Yeah, but the Steelers have done some work on their offense, a little bit. Remember, they brought in DK Metcalf,
who's holding out.
Of course, they pushed George Pickens out,
which we were all happy to see. No, I know this.
You've got Robert Woods, huh?
Well, even despite DK and Bobby Trees, I know that the Pittsburgh scouts, especially the guy that is scouting wide receivers, has a good eye. The guys that they bring
That's true.
Are always, now they might be a little crazy. They might not be able to stay there for long. But for a moment or two, Pittsburgh always has good young wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I trust the fact that he will at least be adequately stocked, if not, surrounded by all pros or, future superstars.
And last year in the draft, not this year, but last year they took Roman Wilson in the third round out of Michigan. The thought is maybe he takes a step forward. Super quick guy, good hands, not a number one type of wide receiver, but we'll see if he takes that next step this year as well. So, but Jalen Warren's your running back. Listen, it's not a great offense by any stretch.
They're designed to score 28 points. That's all. If you score 28 points, our defense should win.
But also, that the job of the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback is basically what it's been since Big Ben left.
Don't screw it up.
It's keep us in the game because the defense is going to be there. Don't give the ball away. Get a couple first downs, get us some field goals.
Yeah, like McCarthy used to say, there's not a problem if your drives end with a kick, and it can be a punt. It's okay with a defense that'll keep you in the game.
Pledger says Roman Wilson's going to break out this year.
He might. I mean, but when you look traditionally, Tomlin is a run first guy, but his running backs don't get a lot of yards.
Yeah.
They're 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of teams.
Pledger says he's committed to taking Roman Wilson in the first round of the Sports Star Fantasy League here.
We'll hold you to it. You can have.
He's going to high draft pick on Roman Wilson. All right.
If he can get off work, that guy's going to be good.
He is. If the fire department lets him out.
Every third Sunday, though, he won't be available.
Gives him some leave. All right. Let's take a break. We'll wrap up hour number 1 on the other side. I got to tell you guys about hour number 1. Hour number 3, man. Where am I going? We'll also give away some Louis the Singer tickets on the other side. I got to tell you about Carbach, my good friends over at Carbach. I had a couple of rhubarb last night, Rob.
I had my last 2 yesterday.
Oh, I'm surprised you drank beer yesterday. I feel like you were recovering from the day before.
That's not beer. That's a delicious after-dinner drink.
It is.
It's a lovely.
It's almost like a dessert.
It's not a dessert, but I will tell you, as a discerning beer drinker, it is as good a non-traditional beer as I've ever had.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a fantastic beer. If you haven't tried it, you've got a limited time. It's part of their fun series, which means it's a limited run. But it is available. It's in all the grocery stores, all the liquor stores around San Antonio right now. They call it a field beer, but it's a fruited kettle sourish type beer. although it's not really sour. It's just got some strawberry, some raspberry, some rhubarb flavoring to it. Really great summertime beer, something great for the pool. And if that's not your jam, no big deal. They've got the Hopadillo, of course. That's their flagship IPA. Very in-your-face hop profile. You don't like IPAs? Okay. How about the Love Street? Their Kolsch-style blonde ale that you can find all over the place. Almost every bar and restaurant is going to have Love Street on tap. Crawford Bock, Ziegenbach, something for everyone in their lineup. And like I said, all over the city. When you're out and about this week, you're having yourself a good time. Maybe you're watching the games. Go ahead and ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your travel time on 35 southbound from Evans to 1604. That's going to take you about 15 minutes. 10-minute ride, 1604 eastbound Bandera as you make your way on over to I-10. A solid 30-minute ride on 1604 westbound from I-10 on over to 281. And 1604 northbound I-10 to 35, making your way through the Live Oak area. About a 17-minute ride. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by H-E-B. H-E-B's here to help you celebrate Dad the Texas way. Stop in for gifts, cards, grilling must-haves, and more for a special Father's Day he won't forget. All at H-E-B's everyday low prices. H-E-B. Here, everything's better.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
The right stuff. Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, this time it's mandatory. The Cowboys kicking off mandatory minicamp.
Micah Parsons is there, but what is he doing? We'll hear from Brian Schottenheimer on that and the good night call he got from Micah the other day.
How sweet. And Shireen Williams will join us at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I love this song.
Of course you do.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
Help me down
you can't
when
not
I
like
got
it if you...
up. Hey!
Who's this one?
Katy Perry.
Oh, okay.
You hear it sound like tiger gonna break you down. I got up. Hey! Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all. I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, a fighter, dancing through the fire, 'cause I am a champion, Aaron Rodgers. You're going to hear him roar louder, louder than the lion, 'cause I am a champion. You're gonna hear me roar. Oh! Thank you, Katie, for that intro. We're gonna hear you roar. Now she's floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
We've seen the Spurs. NBA is releasing their City Edition jerseys now. It looks like the Spurs are going to go back to the one they used a couple years ago. A little bit of the fast-breaking Fiesta colors.
You like that?
Getting away from that. I don't know. I'm down for any.
I don't like tan as a color.
Yeah, I don't want that to ever happen again. But last year's wasn't bad. That kind of bluish green.
I like that. I don't like tan. Like beige, tan, avoid that when you're a sports match team.
On any team. I don't like brown is just not the best.
Yeah.
I remember the Padres' old brown and yellow. Those are
they still
terrible.
wear them.
Yeah, those are terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? If it's your primary color, it's one thing.
But even if it is,
it's not great.
Brown.
Yeah.
But they might be going back to that fast-breaking Fiesta with just that green and red and whatever. So, the contention was let's do something else. But I guess we're boring. We've got a design already. We'll roll that out.
Miguel said, "What was AJ's Cage Walk song?" That
did
was
you have a Cage Walk song?
I did. Yeah, my buddy. It's a Houston rapper had a song that I used to walk to. His name's Dub Six, but he did a song to it sampled the what's the Adele song? The very first famous Adele song.
Hello.
No. I'll play it for you during the break. But yeah, I had a guy who had a song that I repped him his local stuff. So.
I wonder what my walkout song would be.
I think
Roar
by Katy Perry would be a good one.
See, I couldn't do Katy
She's
Perry.
a champion.
Yeah.
You're going to hear her roar.
I wonder what my rollout song be. Like, just played for you wherever you got someplace.
In excess.
Probably. I wonder what it would be. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Oh.
My coming out song.
I always feel like you're like one of those guys who be like a like the breeze kind of guy, like something.
I don't know. It's worthy of consideration, because I'll probably have to play it at my funeral.
Christopher Cross.
See, that's. Well, I've reached an age where I'm not upset with that, but I'm not sure sailing would be appropriate. Ride like the wind.
Yeah.
No. Because, the only time I'm going to have left is when I die. So.
Life in the fast lane, maybe.
See, that would be appropriate.
Yeah.
See, I would have to.
Here comes Rob. He's got his cape on and a mask.
It might be like maybe the Miami Vice theme, something like that would play when Rob walks in the room.
Yeah.
This is not going the way I thought it was going to go. I didn't think Chris Cross would
then
be
Rob's like...
all I can picture in this is words. No. No, just I get the idiom. I'm kind of down with the vibe, but just no.
Oh, that's funny.
If you hear that in the background, it's like I'm about to go on a date with Angela Lansbury. I'm about to go shake things up down at the bingo square, at the bingo table.
Oh, that is so good. So golden. Well, we'll come up with a Rob song. Like we got one for Dr. Jason Garrett. I don't know why we haven't come up with one for
he got that. I got Christopher Cross. Wow.
Or In Excess.
Well, I'll take In Excess.
I do think the Miami Vice theme would be appropriate.
Maybe that might be.
Yeah.
That might be better.
Or maybe you could be the Highwayman.
See, in my mind, at least I'd be the sailor. I'd be the dude that fell in the well.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that fell in the dam.
Yeah. I was a dam builder.
I was a dam builder. They buried me in concrete.
Damn it. I hate when that happens. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. Both are at the team facility. Both are expected to attend minicamp. But as you mentioned, what does that mean they'll be doing at minicamp?
Hold-ins is the
Will
new
Micah
term.
Is Micah Parsons going to be wearing shorts and a tank top? And
For those that are curious, the way that the Players Association has negotiated this is you're not holding out if you show up, and you are not required by the league's agreement to actually work out. As long as you're there, you get credit for being at the mandatory OTAs. So that new term of holding in, we saw it last year when Jamar Chase was standing around in shorts. I mean, it's a way, and if you miss the first day of OTAs, it's a $17,000 fine.
Right.
And then it doubles for the next 3 days. It's only a 3-day deal. So it could work out if you don't show up at all, paying about $100,000. But if you just show up, you get the money. Now, $100,000 to Micah Parsons doesn't mean a whole lot, but
especially not in the next 4 or 5 months, it won't.
Yeah, but you do get the sense of, because a contract appears to be imminent, that Micah's in a position, holding out does him no good.
And Micah's done all the right things so
Right.
far, in my opinion. Micah's been like, there's no way the Cowboys can look at the way Micah's handled this and say he hasn't been a team guy.
He has done everything correctly. I don't expect them to miss any time. Now, Diggs, on the other hand, long term, we might have some conversations. Because I just feel like Micah, the decision's been made. You're going to get paid.
Well, remember Diggs, the reason why Diggs is showing up, it's financially motivated, but in a different way than Micah's. Diggs has to hit 85% of the team's offseason program. Otherwise, he loses a $500,000 de-escalator.
Mm-hmm.
So Diggs he didn't participate in OTAs. He had knee surgery in January. He's not going to do anything at these OTAs anyway. He's probably going to start the season on the PUP list.
Mm-hmm.
The expectation is you ain't got to do anything. Just show up and be there. So this goes towards his 85% of the offseason program so he can make that $500,000. With Micah, there is the question of, like, I would be shocked at this point if Micah held out of activities or especially games, just because of the way he's handled it so far. Makes me think that in his mind, he's going to do everything the right way and leave it in the Cowboys camp. And if this thing gets messed up, it's going to all be on the Cowboys. And certainly so far, he's done just that. But that is still a possibility. CD didn't sign until like late August. Dak famously signed like an hour before kickoff.
Yep.
I mean, and Micah is fully aware of that. He understands that Jerry likes to wait till the last minute to get things done. But Micah also expects to be taken care of, and there's a clock ticking, and every day that clock ticks another tick, the price goes up.
And because of that, we know Jerry's going to pay him. And Jerry's used to the escalating price. The dollar amount won't matter.
It doesn't seem to bother him.
It doesn't. In fact, I think at the end of the day, Jerry takes great pride in overpaying. I think that he likes the idea of saying, you know what? You've earned it, and let's go brag about it. I'll never forget.
I got the biggest boat. I got the highest paid this.
Remember that Domer that the Cowboys drafted like in 2016, 17? Jalen Smith, that had the drop foot.
Linebacker, yeah.
And he worked his ass off and got himself just to be an acceptable pro. He never got back to where he was before he snapped or blew his whatever that was. But remember, the moment that Jerry could pay him, not only did he pay him, he overpaid him. So if you're a good soldier and you play by the rules, Jerry takes great pride in overpaying. Look at how proud he was with Dak, and everybody in the world looked at him like, you're crazy.
Yep.
So Micah knows that there's something about Jerry knowing I can overpay and I'm proud of it, that if you just play your cards right, you're going to get paid. Now, I thought he was going to get traded in January.
Micah?
Yeah, I just thought he was imminent to be gone. Now I would be absolutely astounded if by the time we're sitting here next year, I'm not sure anything will happen now, but by the time we're looking at mandatory OTAs next year, Micah's going to be a top 3 highest paid defensive player in the NFL.
I think so too. If not the highest.
Yeah, I think he knows.
I know he said I don't have to be the highest, but I think by now he may end up being that.
So I am no longer worried about Micah. I'm not worried about participation. Whether he shows up or not, I think that he knows that if I have the kind of season I'm capable of this year, I can rewrite the salary book. I can become the highest paid player on the defensive side of the ball in the history of the NFL if I have a season that I'm capable of having.
I will say, I mean, yeah, but it would be nice to have him on the field for these OTAs because he's real with D-Law gone. He's the leader of this defense.
All of this, and he's learning yes.
And, you know, Diggs isn't going to be out there, so everything's kind of new. You want your leadership
and
guys on the field.
I think he knows that for me to be that kind of success, not only do I have to show up, but I got to be the lead dog, too. I'm going to have to do everything to earn this $45 to $50 million a year I'm going to be asking for.
I think so, too. So I think I would expect to see Micah on the field this week. Maybe not day one.
No, not running around. I think that he wants to have some assurances that things are coming. But the fact of the matter is he's still under contract. No matter what happens, he's going to be under contract this year. And nothing has to happen until next. And as long as you play the good soldier, I have no doubt that Jerry he's not going to cast you loose. He's not going to trade you. He's going to pay you. That's what he's done in the past, and he's going to do it again. And I think he's kind of got that kind of comfortability now, and he's acting like it. Like, I know I'm going to get paid. Dak got paid. CD got paid. I'm going to get paid.
And if he doesn't, I mean, the Cowboys are going to look foolish.
Well, the Cowboys will crack in on themselves. They'll completely collapse if they don't keep him.
But, again, I really think and not only would it collapse, I think other people would look at it and go, how did the Cowboys mess this up?
Because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything about him would look terrible.
Micah has done everything that you would hope a star player like him would do. Like, he hasn't bitched. Like, I mean, guys like Trey Hendrickson's at least been a squeaky wheel. Like, almost everybody of this caliber becomes a squeaky wheel when they're not getting their way. Micah hasn't even been that. He's just kind of like, it's going to happen when it happens.
And he's a free spirit that we've kind of gotten used to some other things. No, he has not been a bad dude. And
he's like, I want to be a Cowboy. I mean, it's not, I'm demanding a trade. No, he's playing patience. And I respect the hell out of the way Micah's handled this thing.
So I'm not worried about him anymore. And whether he's active in OTAs or not, I know that it's in his best interest right now financially to do everything required to be a great football player, knowing full well the dollar values will not triple because he's already going to make a lot. But if he comes out and has a 12-sack, 100-tackle year, whatever the line is for that position, and he is above that, dude, you're going to get Von Miller money. You're just going to get it.
SRS says paying Micah top dollar is insane.
Why? I mean, I disagree with that. No, it's not. When you have a guy that can completely disrupt a team by himself, even if it's not every play, even if it's a 1 in every 10, you pay those guys. I mean, especially in a transition defense where you're picking up something new and a new style's in play, and you're just going to have some downs where some dude just has to go get it. You got one guy that can, and he gets paid. Nah, you're going to pay him.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
He has consistently been a top guy. I don't know why you.
Well, the good news is we're going to get to see what T.J. Watt does this year, and whatever T.J. gets, add 10%.
Yeah, PFF last year, guys with grades, edge rushers with grades higher than 90. Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack, Micah Parsons.
That's a high dollar rent club.
That's where you're supposed to be. That's
behind the gate.
That is that's the class you're aiming for. That's the class he's going to get paid in.
So, I mean, it's in his financial best interest now. Don't rock the boat. Be a great football player, and you will go down in the annals.
I think so, too. So we'll see how he I expect him to handle it well, but we'll see how this week goes. I think we'll see him on the field eventually this week.
I would make him team captain. I would make sure he was the first dude to get interviewed other than Dak. There are two dudes on the Cowboys that matter. It's Dak on the offensive side. It's Micah on the other side. And I want them to act and be treated like you're the team captain. You're the bell cows. Now go get it done.
I think CD matters too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's your quarterback.
Although CD matters less now that George Pickens exists. But I do think that matters. I think having because if you don't have those things, then you can say, well, Dak could do this if. And now there's no excuses for Dak. I'm sorry, there's not. Like if Dak's no good this year, it's because Dak's no good. Because
absolutely. But I put Dak in a position, and Micah, like, you know what? After the football games, you're the first dudes out. There's no question. Dak talks first, you talk second. And if you had a better game, you're first. And that's every game. Win, lose, or draw, you are now the face of this franchise. You don't have D-Law to protect you. You don't have a Diggs to come out there. No, Micah, you're going to earn this. You're going to be the face of the franchise. And guess what? You'll make $55 million a year doing it.
And he said you can get top picks for him, and he tires out by late November. You could have. And had they traded him, I wouldn't have blamed him because they could have probably gotten a haul for him. That's gone now.
Yeah, we're in on it.
We're past that deadline. You've got to go forward with him as your guy.
And now teams will just wait it out. There's no trading. If he's not happy, he'll just be a free agent eventually. We'll just pay him then without having to give up any talent. That time of easy acquisition where we'll have to give up a fair amount, but we'll have him for a year or two and we can talk to him. No, that's done. We can't move him.
All right. Let's do this. Let's give away Louis the Singer, one for the hometown. We've got tickets for that tour. It's going to be Saturday, September 20th at the Aztec Theater, the Theater de Azteca. We got 2 tickets for that. Are you going to play some Louis for us, Vic? Oh, yes. This is about you, Rob.
It might be.
Rob wakes up before the sun comes up.
I do. So
to beat
everybody
the
in this
heat.
room does.
Yeah, to beat the heat because it's too old.
This is Rob's walkout song.
That's it. Not quite as exciting as I had hoped.
But just imagine going like this. Waving at your fans. Waving at all of them.
Nah, I need a little bit more upbeat.
All right. Well, we'll think about it. We'll see what Louis can do for us later.
Yeah.
But you do like to wake up before the sun comes up.
I don't like it, but I do it.
You came along.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the song you sing to me when I came along into your life.
The moment I start singing to you, we got problems. The moment I'm singing to you, something terrible's happened.
Oh, Rob. This song's about us. This is about the day we were paired up.
We're hiding out someplace and you've been gut shot. And
Poncho and Lefty's the song.
I don't think I'm going to make it, Rob. Hold on. Just
sing Poncho and Lefty to me, Rob. Sing me Poncho and Lefty.
Don't let them take me back.
The Federales could have had me. All right, you want to see Louis the Singer? Let's go caller number 7. Oh, I'm going to make Vic work today because he left us in the middle of the show to go poop.
Well, I have to.
Well, Rob and I have to make it. We've got to fight through. Why don't you have to fight through? I only got one kidney. I got diabetes. I'm a cancer survivor. Wah.
That's why.
Ozzy has Parkinson's. You think he takes a dump in the middle of his show?
No, he wears a diaper like we
No,
do.
he fights through. He wears a diaper.
He doesn't know if he does.
He just
doesn't.
He straps up. He straps into his adult pamper, and he just goes,
Just
man.
hose him off at the end of the day.
Sharon, get that thing off of me, Sharon. So I got piss all over my legs. Piss in my boot, Sharon. Could you do it? Somebody pissed on me during the show. I don't know who it was. Sharon! All right. Look at us. 1 hour of programming left, Rob, and tomorrow's going to hump. What? We're already there.
Hump day?
Yeah, baby. My favorite day, hump day, coming up. All right, we'll be back. 1 hour to go. We'll try and make it the best hour of the day. That's our goal here at the Morning Huddle, to leave you joyous and entertained. That's our goal. We'll make it happen next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever.
Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a gift from the Home Depot, because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. Upgrade his gear this Father's Day with the Husky Mechanics 270-piece tool set from the Home Depot. Now on special buy for $119, a $695 value. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook.
When I wake up,
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GimmeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GimmeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GimmeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your travel time on 35 southbound from Evans to 1604. That's going to take you about 15 minutes. 10-minute ride, 1604 eastbound Bandera as you make your way on over to I-10. A solid 30-minute ride on 1604 westbound from I-10 on over to 281. And 1604 northbound I-10 to 35, making your way through the Live Oak area. About a 17-minute ride. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, San Antonio Spurs guard De'Aaron Fox told the Houston Chronicle that he definitely hoped to sign a long-term deal with the Spurs this offseason, according to the Houston Chronicle. Fox is eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension this offseason, but the earliest he can sign it is August the 3rd. Rumors are bouncing regarding the number 14 pick that the Spurs own. They look to upgrade the roster, and it could be on the move, according to Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
9:03 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I I was reading today, and I saw something that surprised me. And I'm not saying it's wrong. And we don't talk a lot of baseball on this show, but, you know, it's America's pastime, some would call it. If I told you there's a new power rankings out in Major League Baseball, and there's a new team at number 1.
And it's not the Dodgers.
It's not the Dodgers. How many teams do you think it'll take you to guess the number 1 team?
1.
Okay, go.
Yankees.
No.
Then I'm out.
The Rockies.
That is potentially the worst guess of all.
So not the Yankees, who won 9 straight, although they did go in L.A. and get pants the other day.
Yeah, they are tied for third with the Dodgers. So there's actually 2 teams ahead of those 2.
Not currently. Not picked
this
to
is
win
like
at all.
For this week, this is the number 1 team right now.
No.
Not the Padres.
Detroit.
They're number 8. It's Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit or
the Detroit Tigers, the new number 1s in the power rankings, says the Tigers have been far and away the best team in the AL through the first 67 games or so. With a little over 90 games left, it's worth wondering if any of this is sustainable. Detroit's had contributions from up and down the lineup and from some hidden heroes like Jahmai Jones and his first pitch, first homer as a Tiger, along with some truly standout pitching.
It's Skubal and Flaherty. I mean, isn't that how they go?
Yes.
So does Detroit.
I've got to tell you, I saw a stat yesterday about Tarik Skubal that blew my mind. Tarik Skubal's last 11 games, 95 strikeouts, 3 walks. 95-3.
That's Greg Maddux stuff.
And then I saw someone quote tweeted it and said, Chris Davis used to do this all the time. What's the big deal? Remember Chris Davis, the Orioles first baseman that used to strike out almost every at bat? And then they're like, what's the big deal? 95 strikeouts?
I do that easy. Yeah. Falling out of bed.
No problem there. But 95 strikeouts, 3 walks in his last 11 starts. Yeah, the Tigers have something going, man. And if they can hold steady, they're 23-9 at home, best in the AL. And if they hold on to the 1 seed and have home field advantage, maybe the Tigers, we're talking about a World Series type of team.
Well, it's June.
There's a long way to go. You're right. And number 2 in that power rating is the New York Mets.
Well, they're the ones that took the Dodgers down the other day.
42-24 are the Mets. And it says their big question is, how's the top of the rotation going to shake out? They could be getting Frankie Montas back, Sean Manaea due back before the All-Star break. But the thought is Kodai Senga eventually going to regress? Is Clay Holmes going to get hurt?
Can Baez hang on?
Yeah. So, and listen, man, the Tigers are 43-24. They're 3 games better than the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I think all of us can look at and go, man, they've drastically underperformed. Well, and the fact that at 40-27, and then when you consider that Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, their entire starting rotation has been on the IL. Clayton Kershaw was on the IL for the first half of the
and Mookie. Everybody thought he was losing too much weight for the first 3 weeks of the season. So no, yeah, they're the best team as far as talent.
I still think, so, especially once they get healthy, and eventually they will get healthy. But it keeps happening. Tony Gonsolin goes on the injured list. It's like he's the 14th Dodger pitcher to go on the IL this year. 14. How many teams would even survive that, much less be 40-27 right now?
Well, they're also spending about $300 million in
no
salary.
Doubt.
I mean, they can afford it. The thing with Detroit is, I think all of us have memories of, we like Detroit. I mean, I remember, what was the pitcher? Jack
Morris?
Jack Morris and the Detroit Tigers. I mean, it kind of feels like
it's
them
old
again.
School. That's like
gritty
little kid me remembers Jack
Morris.
I
mean, when I see Detroit, I'm all about a gritty team making it, but I don't look anything. I'm not even going to talk about World Series playoffs pennant until middle of July, man. We're like week 2 in October, or week 2 of the NFL season.
I think
seriously.
I think Jack Morris got fired from the Tigers broadcast team. it might have been last year or maybe 2 years ago when Shohei Ohtani was coming up to bat. You remember this?
Yes, I do.
And they said, "How would you pitch to Shohei here?" And he said, "I'd be very, very careful."
Very, very careful. I think he got suspended. I don't think they fired him.
Okay, I hope not. But I knew he got in big trouble over that whole thing. It's like when was it the A's broadcaster who said they went to the Inward League Museum, and it's like, I don't think that's what it's called, but okay.
There was one that also
Slip
had
of the tongue.
The ancient Chinese secret had that got him in trouble. So,
also, in case you were wondering, unanimous, even despite the fact they got a 3-game sweep, the Colorado Rockies are still 30th on the list.
They're primed for vast improvement. They're arrowing up.
They are just under. Now, to avoid history, to avoid the right now they're on pace.
Nobody's going to be better than the Sox at being bad.
Okay, listen to these numbers. The Sox last year were 41 and 121. The Rockies right now are on pace for 30 and 132. 11. They're on pace for 11 games worse than the White Sox last year,
and that's after winning 3 straight.
Yes. The Rockies need to play at a 309 winning percentage.
I believe that they have the capabilities of winning well under 30 games. I think they have the opportunity.
Think about this. They have to play to 309 to avoid being the worst team in history. So far this year, through 65 games, they're playing at a 185 winning percentage.
I still fall back on this. This team should be playing in Pawtucket.
It's embarrassing.
This is so bad that it's on purpose. So because it's on purpose, you got to go play someplace else for a year.
The Marlins also pretty bad. The Sandy Alcantara, who was supposed to be their their big go-to starter. He's got the old grade school riddle for an ERA. Why is 6 afraid of his ERA? Because 7, 8, 9. That's his current ERA. That ain't good for your ace to be at 7, 8, 9. And I told you guys so remember yesterday I was telling you about Ryan Weathers, and they threw down to second base and hit their pitcher in the head. Later in that game, he strained his lat. He's now on the 60-day IL. He was their best pitcher too. I mean, when it rains, it pours, and it's pouring in Miami right now.
By design.
It is pouring in Miami right now. Just embarrassing. Embarrassing, friends.
So we've reached this time of the season where now, teams are, like we saw, what's his name, Roman
Anthony. They're starting to do call-ups.
So now, middle of June, teams know who they are, where they're going.
Yep. The Astros, well, you know what? I'll start with the Rangers. The Rangers number 22 in the power rankings at 31 and 35.
Which has actually been a pretty decent year, all things considered.
I guess.
We're banged up. 31 wins at this point. I think that there's still potential, still hope.
It says when the Rangers fired their hitting coach on May 4th, the offense ranked 29th in runs, 28th in on-base percentage, and 25th in slugging. And then they brought in Brett Boone to replace him. And so far they are 26th in runs, 30th in on-base percentage, and 28th in slugging. Basically the exact same thing.
So you're saying it's the players.
It's probably the players.
So it's not the coaching. It's the players.
It says the lack of production has been exasperating for a team playing in a winnable division and receiving stalwart efforts from its starting rotation. Yeah, the pitching has been good, but they're still sitting 4 games under 500.
Still think there's time.
The Houston Astros, Texas's other team, Texas's first place team, let's call it what it is. Mm-hmm. They are number 9 in the power rating, sitting at 36 and 29, pardon me. And they're doing that without Yordan Alvarez. They still have not talked about a timetable on when to expect Yordan back. He hasn't played we are going on 38 days. He would help. He's certainly their best hitter. They need him to be in there if they're going to have any chance when we get to the playoffs. But Astros right now playing well without him. Jumped into first place. Kudos to them, passing up the Mariners.
To look back on hitters with bad hands and what it looked like when they came back, because that of all, it's either bad eye or bad hands. Those are two things that you can't grip the bat, dude.
Yeah, but it always seems like ribs or like any kind of like back, any type of core injury that you've got to turn with always seems like to be a problem. I don't know, but I mean, the fact that we thought his hand was healed and then they were like, no, it turns out it's worse than we thought. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, you got to have fast hands, but when Jordan hits the ball, that power's not coming from his hands.
No,
that's
but you want to be able to hold on to it, though, man,
right.
And get it out of the park.
Yeah, that's coming from his from the body. The San Antonio Marlins, what could have been, or the San Antonio A's. Wesley says he saw the Rockies had the cheapest beers out of all the stadiums, though, $3 a pop.
Incentive.
Hey,
incentive.
No wonder people show up for those. You asked Rob, why would people still show up for the games? Well, there's your answer.
There's also free weed Tuesdays.
Free weed Tuesday.
Free weed Tuesdays.
They call it Toker Tuesday.
Toker Tuesdays. The seventh inning stretch is a party, man. Let me tell you.
By the end of the season, like in Chicago last year, they were doing Free Base Friday for all the crackheads on the South Side. That was a little different. In Colorado, in Colorado, they're a little classier. They stick with weed. In Chicago, they're like, oh no, we can do crack here.
Got a little dark.
This is South Side of Chicago.
Chirac.
That's right.
We do crack.
That's right, baby. We ain't messing around here.
I'll just go to the free weed Tuesdays.
It's fentanyl Fridays over here, Bubba.
Buddy.
That's Baltimore.
Make it happen.
The Orioles.
That is what's happening in Baltimore right now. Yeesh. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what's going on in the world outside of sports. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
How you feeling this morning? Did you wake up without any pain keeping you out of life? If you did, carry on. You're doing things right. But if you're like most of us, there's probably something keeping you out of your life. Maybe it's a bad ankle. Maybe you got something hurt over the weekend doing a honeydew. Maybe there's something lingering that you just haven't been able to get rid of that has kept you out of life. If that's you, stop. There's a fix. It's called Arasti. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one goal in mind, and that's to get you out of pain and get you out of pain fast. And they've been successful because they go about it in ways you might not have considered, because Arasti has nothing to do with pain medications to dull or hide the pain. It has nothing to do with surgery to prolong or even increase the pain. It is your body fixing itself in ways you might not have considered. Consider it like chiropractic, physical therapy, and a variety of other things all rolled into one. Now, to be an Arasti provider, you have to have been a medical professional already. They're coming from the ranks of the chiropractors, the general practitioners, the physical therapists. They knew what they were doing, and they knew they had to attain a certification that would set them apart. That's what Arasti is. It's the very best taking care of you. They're all around San Antonio. You'll never need a referral to go, and they accept most insurances. What are you waiting on? Call them right now. 1-800-404-6050. They're going to take care of you. When they do, come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your travel time on 35 southbound from Evans to 1604. That's going to take you about 15 minutes. 10-minute ride, 1604 eastbound Bandera as you make your way on over to I-10. A solid 30-minute ride on 1604 westbound from I-10 on over to 281. And 1604 northbound I-10 to 35, making your way through the Live Oak area. About a 17-minute ride. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads, He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
What is it, Tubbs? And
Rob's new theme song?
What were their names? Tubbs and...
Crockett.
Crockett, that's right.
Yeah.
I can, sadly, I never saw one episode of Miami Vice.
Really?
It was, I know it was happening for whatever reason. I never watched it. So
I watch
when
it
I
all
hear
the
it,
time,
I smell, it smells kind of like
coconut,
cocoa butter,
and body
pina
funk,
coladas and
salt,
sweat,
and mold. Cocoa butter, funk, a little salt.
Yeah.
Burn, burn, burn. All
Jan
right.
Hammer.
I like to take some time and see what's going on in the world outside of sports. First, Hugh Jackman getting divorced. Deborah Lee Furness, they're splitting their New York City $24 million penthouse without any drama, but there's still a lot to be split up.
I heard he's gay.
What? Are Australians gay?
I think Hugh Jackman's gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought I had heard that he was at least playing on both teams.
They've been married for 27 years.
No, I don't know.
And I feel like, I don't know how to put this.
He's repeatedly denied rumors, but
seeing their most recent photos together, I feel like he could get hotter. And maybe she's like a really good cook or something. I don't know.
I think he's gay, dude.
Maybe so. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't want to cause any rumors. Right. They say she was blindsided and extremely disappointed by the dissolution of their marriage, suggesting there was an unwritten understanding that she would not trash him to the press. So it's entirely possible that is the case, but I do not know. I do not know. But there are some people that I'm seeing now, there are some rumors that is the case. Now,
that is the reason.
I mean, I don't think that's real, though. I think that looked like an AI thing. Okay, that looks pretty real. But like, you never go running with your buddies in a thong?
Well, I mean, who doesn't?
I mean, you and I, when we went to Army Navy,
that's
remember?
What we do. I mean,
in D.C., it was like, it was middle of winter, but we went out and
jogged around in our banana hammocks.
Jogged in our thongs. Just so you know, I don't know how closely you've been following what's going on in L.A., but there's a lot of protests. It's getting wild there in L.A.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand.
And guess what, friends? It's getting pretty close to home now.
Uh-oh.
Solidarity protesters in Austin have now occupied the J.J. Pickle Federal Building, which houses the local ICE processing center. So there are a lot of, now we're seeing this a lot in our very ultra-liberal cities around the country where there are solidarity protesters. They are trying to march from the Texas Capitol to the local ice processing center 3 blocks away. They were being blocked by PD, and now they are no longer blocked by the PD, so they are on the building there in Austin, Texas. No further details on it yet, but that's happening here in Texas, too. How long before it reaches San Antonio? I feel like San Antonio is not a protester type of city. We ain't doing that nonsense.
Not really. No, we'll get out in March, but not a riot city for sure.
No, it's not our style.
Burning
I like that.
The driverless taxis that were driving around the L.A. area.
Yeah, I don't want any I don't want violent protesting in my town. I'm against it.
We had some downtown.
Well, we'll have some marches.
Yeah.
Now, when is the big military thing? That's this Saturday, right? Isn't there supposed to be marches all over the country this weekend?
I don't know. I know the Marines are supposed to be getting sent to L.A. right now.
They're already there.
Are they there?
Yeah, they got there yesterday.
Okay. Elsewhere, Massachusetts State Police said a pursuit came to an end when the suspect jumped into a swimming pool. They were chasing a car. He jumped out and thought he was going to hide.
Just hold his breath.
You can only stay underwater for so long, though.
He didn't pack his straw.
Yeah, it's
right. Yeah, just a little.
Ever tried that? It's impossible.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. He was arrested without incident after they drug him out of the pool.
He was out of breath.
Yeah, how long did he think he was going to stay under? Rockwall, Texas.
Fine, North Dallas area.
A mother has been found guilty of making sexual contact with a 13-year-old friend of her son. She has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. Real estate agent Natalie Sorrells had multiple instances of inappropriate contact with the child since April of 2023.
13-year-old?
13. In the interview, the 13-year-old described 2 incidents where Sorrells touched him inappropriately. He also described having sexual contact with her in a car after she picked him up from a football game, and another time at a party for her son. Imagine it's your birthday, your friends are all over, you're cutting the cake, and it's like, okay, it's time to hit the piñata. Where's Mom and little Billy?
He's getting his gift. Little Billy's a man today.
According to the affidavit, the child said that during one of the incidents, Sorrell's husband called to ask if she was cheating on him.
With a 13-year-old boy.
The child also told police
be gay.
that she provided him and several friends with alcohol and tobacco on multiple occasions.
What, a cigarette?
Yeah. After you,
Why not just give him weed? Jeez.
I'm gonna buy him.
Not that I'd advocate it, but I mean, why not?
Police were told of the crimes after the child's mother found deleted texts between him and the victim where she called the child babe. Weeks after that was discovered, the child informed his mother that she had touched him inappropriately. She received 30 months in prison for each guilty charge. There were 2 of them, so that's 5 years of indecency with a child. Also required to pay a $10,000 fine. How do you feel?
I still freak out. Like, why?
How do you feel if you're the husband of a woman who cheated on you with a 13-year-old boy?
I'd rather you come out and say you were gay. I'd rather you go, well, I'm lesbian and I always have been. Oh, okay. Well, then I get it.
Like, Vic, how would you feel? How would you feel if your wife cheated on you with a 13-year-old boy?
I don't know, man.
Like, is there anything more emasculating?
Yeah, nothing. It's over.
Like,
yeah. I mean, there's no coming back from
No, there's no coming back.
No, at all. No matter how many excuses I put in my head or
because
well, maybe,
I would be broken as a man, I think. Like,
yes.
I don't know that I'm ever coming back from that.
No. Well, she did what Bernie Mac said. You know, she got the young guy. Go get him. I'll watch.
13.
That's too young.
Now, she has posted bond, so she's out, presumably hanging out with her husband right now.
I wonder what that feels like, all that stress in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, his name is in the locker room under the all-star category.
This
guy is now a high school god.
He is a god. That is true.
Yeah. A 21-year-old man, he's a Saudi Arabian resident, but he was visiting Florida, Clearwater, Florida.
Uh-oh.
He was
at
at
his papers.
the Oz Gentleman Club, and he called 911 because basically he'd been bamboozled. Said, listen, I paid $300 for a private room at the strip club.
There is no sex in the champagne room.
I requested sex from the staff member, but was denied the sex, and then she took the $300 anyway.
She just danced around.
Yeah, I said, let's have sex, and she said, no. So what did he do?
Why did he give her the
Call the cops.
Called 911. And now he was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. Although, I mean, maybe in his country that is a maybe that is a crime. He had just turned 21 a week before visiting Florida, so maybe he wasn't aware that that's not in the.
I gave him good money.
Yeah.
I gave 300 drachmas and a camel.
It's gonna if you want that, it's gonna cost you more than $300.
We're gonna need 99 goats. And a camel.
It's going to cost you more than $300.
Or your dowry.
And a homeowner was perplexed. It's like, what is going on here? Why is my toilet clogged up? There was there was an object stuck in the wax ring.
Oh, okay.
And she posted it online, and Reddit users were able to...
she didn't know what it was.
She didn't know what it was.
She unplugged her toilet and was showing what was clogging her toilet.
Yes. So they were like, I found this thing in my toilet. What's going on? Why is this thing in the toilet? But someone said it's a plastic shim, and they said it's unlikely that it was flushed on purpose. She thought it was perhaps a... She thought it was perhaps a toy. And she said, ooh, I hate pulling someone's sex toy out of my toilet. Why would this be? And then they told her, no, that's not. Now, how you would get a plastic shim confused for a sex toy is beyond me. I guess it's ridged, I guess. But they say it probably was an accident. A handyman may have stuck it to the floor to stop it from wobbling, and it just got stuck into the ring. But she thought because it was ribbed and plastic, she thought that it was a sex toy.
It looks like mine.
Right?
Seems. I mean, it's kind of flat.
That's where it went.
Yeah. Damn it. Last homeowner really got one.
I know.
And finally, in Montreal, there is a new regulation at the dog park that has the people up in arms. And this is how you know Montreal's got like we've got riots in LA. Montreal's got bigger problems though.
Okay.
Canada's got real problems.
Bunch of Frenchies.
Their dog park has a sign now that in French and English says, no barking allowed. If your dog barks too much, they will ask you to leave the dog park.
I actually like that rule.
Do you?
Well, it's
That's
unenforceable.
ridiculous.
I mean, that's kind of what dogs do.
That's all they do. And run and bite.
I mean, that's like saying, imagine like you go to the sauna and there's a sign on it that says no sweating. Anyone who sweats will be asked to leave. I mean, I don't know. You go to the dog park so the dogs can run around and play with other dogs. They're going to bark at each other. That's what dogs do.
Yeah.
No barking? What kind of Frenchy nonsense is that?
Do poodles bark?
I don't know.
Oh, they bark the worst.
You have a poodle?
I've never
I
had
had one.
Oh, I hate poodles.
Before Tootsie. Yeah.
Poodles are in my top 5 worst breed of dogs.
I just Googled that. In some dog parks in San Antonio, like I'll even say it, Puppy Playland Dog Park in New Braunfels, explicitly state that dogs must be under voice control and that owners should discourage barking.
That's so stupid. Who opens a dog park and says no barking? Next thing, it's no pooping allowed either.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Walk, don't run.
Yeah.
While some barking is expected, excessive and persistent barking can be disruptive and generally not allowed.
I get that.
Owners are expected to take steps to discourage their dogs barking. Shh.
I just have that no barking thing. Remember I showed you?
Oh, yeah.
That works 100%.
What's the worst dogs? Give me your top 3 worst dogs.
As far as barking?
No, just in general. Dogs like you would never own one of these dogs.
Oh, Great Dane. Too big.
Okay.
I've heard Huskies are tough to have.
They are tough to have.
I've never had one.
Too much hair.
I've heard chows.
That's my shepherd. Is that
chows are tough to own? They're mean and hard-headed, and I've heard Dalmatians are difficult to own as well.
Yeah, or Tibetan Mastiff.
Poodle, Chihuahua, Dalmatian are my bottom 3 tier. That's my bottom tier of dog.
I've had Chihuahuas. Yeah, they're pretty persnickety.
I don't like them.
They're mean.
I'm used to smaller dogs.
I don't like dogs that are like get angry at you over nothing.
Yeah,
and are like
that's a Chihuahua.
It's the same thing about cats. How I say I don't like cats that are distrusting and like don't like they're all skittish. Yeah. Every Chihuahua is like that. Like you try to reach down and pet a Chihuahua that's running away from you.
Well, they're pretty sure you're trying to kill them.
I hate that.
I have one. We have a 17-year-old toothless Chihuahua.
The craziest thing, I go to Rob's house for the Super Bowl. First time I've ever been inside his house. Right. First time I've ever met this dog. Dog just jumped into my lap. I don't know that it could even see who I was. It might be completely blind. It jumped in my lap and just laid down.
Me. Yep, that's well, she's 17.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
John said he has 3 Great Dane.
Oh,
I have a dog that I think is part Great Dane.
Dog, man.
But Great Danes are great dogs.
They are.
They're just good.
They're just huge.
Yeah. No, it's just too big.
Yeah.
My ex-brother and son-in-law brought his lady huge dog. It was only like 9 months old, but it wouldn't fit on the bed. It's like his, it was just
like
our
having
house
a horse.
wasn't big enough. Yeah, it just wasn't big enough. And then when it went outside, I thought they were anthills.
That's a whole other thing. Yes.
Jeez, I told him you picked that up.
You need a shovel.
You need like 4 hands and a shovel. Jeez. While my other dogs, little Tootsie, just
leaves Tootsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he could easily eat that dog. Oh man, that's why I was scared of.
Well, like the little poodle. My aunt had a poodle, and it was mean, and it would like I don't know, like it had whatever like it had some sort of brain injury or something when she adopted it. So it was not a very smart dog. And it was just it was always a little bit off.
Got a poodle on the spectrum, huh?
And I would take my dog over, my shepherd over to play with my dad's dogs when my aunt and my dad lived together.
Okay.
And he had 2 chocolate labs, and my dog would run around with those 2 dogs. They'd wrestle, they'd play, they'd have a good time, and the little poodle just hated it. Hated that they were playing, hated that they were running around, and eventually she kept jacking with my dog, and I was like, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta make this dog like stop acting wild. Well, finally, my dog was laying there, and this dog bit it on the face, like ran up and like bit my dog on the face. My dog snatched it up, whipped it around, and threw it against the wall. It looked like a horror movie. There was like blood streaks on the wall. There was 2 giant holes in this dog where my dog bit into it. It's like
normally those don't get so violent, but there's normally there's a pecking order established. They only
It's like, dude, I'll let you jack around for a long time. You start biting my face when I'm trying to take a nap, it ain't gonna go well for you. And then my aunt was like, "Oh, your dog can't behave." It's like your dog bit my dog in the face. If you're gonna, what do they say? If you want to run, if you can't run with the big dog, stay on the porch.
Yeah.
Well, you get one free bite. Porch. Now you know. Now he knows. Don't bite him in the face.
Now you know. Well, that dog's dead now. So, and my dog's still alive. So, guess who the real winner was? That's right.
You go.
All right. One segment left. Yeah. We'll do what we always do to finish up. We'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Libby Dunn with an instructional video on how to eat crawfish.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this particular instructional video, you might want to take a look, especially if you don't know how to eat crawfish. I mean, it's
even if you do know how to eat crawfish.
Yeah, go take a look at that. It's very educational, by the way. Yes.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gomez Law Firm has been fighting for the rights of San Antonians for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. What is something you see often as a personal injury attorney and protecting your clients?
The one thing we always see without fault in a case is that the insurance company will always reach out to them soon after the collision, and they try to get them to agree to a low settlement. They try to get them to agree to signing a piece of paper. They want them essentially to sign their rights away without ever even consulting with an attorney. Right? In the grand scheme of things, if you sign a piece of paper, you're signing your future interest away. So that's why it's so important to call the Gomez Law Firm, because we make sure we protect your rights, and you're not signing your life away, you're not signing your rights away.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then call the Gomez Law Firm first. 210-736-4040 or visit joegomezlaw.com. Protect your family and protect your rights.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Father's Day kicks off early, Saturday, June 14th at Lion and Rose Dominion, hosted by Marissa Gomez, realtor with Real Broker. If you know a dad who deserves some extra love, bring him out for family fun, live music, and delicious food and drinks. Enjoy free experiences like cigar rolling, mini spa treatments, and prize drawings. There's always something special happening at Lion and Rose. It's Saturday, June 14th from 3 to 7 p.m. for the Father's Day kickoff at Lion and Rose, just off I-10 West past the Dominion exit.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What secrets do you keep, Vic?
I have to pee right now.
Is that how your wife found out you cheated on her?
No.
You were talking in your sleep?
No. How did she find out? I can't remember. I think it was a friend.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was her friend?
Yeah, her friend. Yeah.
Oh. No, it was her friend. You were.
Yeah, no. It was her. No. It was.
Oh, it's her friend that ratted on you.
Yeah. That's why I don't go anywhere.
Does she come around anymore?
Nah.
Good. Beat it. Snitch.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Snitch ass snitcher.
That was like in 2004.
The secrets that you keep.
Yeah.
With his lateral lisp.
Tell me that you want me.
Bum, bum, bum,
Tell me that you need me. Oh!
Didn't know you were a fan of the Romantics.
I'm not.
I like this
but
song.
It's funny.
Good.
You think it's a good song?
Yeah.
They had for a brief shining moment. I think they had one record.
The secrets that you keep, boo-doo-doom, boo-doom, when you're talking in your sleep.
Yeah.
I saw them perform at Oyster Bake.
Oh, really?
And the lead singer had a lisp. So it was the secrets that you keep.
All right.
Yeah,
Secrets. Everybody got some secrets.
You got some secrets?
You got the secrets?
Some Mike Tyson secrets?
Don't tell nobody the secrets.
Secrets that you keep.
All right, let's do what we always do to wrap up the show. Let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered! Yeah!
The College World Series bracket is set. And the odds are in place. Murray State got the last spot in. Think about that. Murray State was the 4 seed in the Oxford Regional. They won that, and then they beat Duke. And now they're in Omaha. They are the longest shot in Omaha. But you're saying
I'm in, baby.
There's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. Now, unfortunately, they're in bracket 2. And also in bracket 2 are the LSU Tigers, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and the UCLA Bruins. That's bracket 2. Murray State, their chance to win, if you think they can win the College World Series, you think they can stay hot, how about plus 4,000, 40 to 1.
Where is Murray State?
In Kentucky. Kentucky.
There's some Kentucky money coming in.
That's right, baby. The favorite to win the College World Series, not the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, the best team I saw was LSU.
They are your favorites at 2 to 1. Arkansas plus 225. They are number 1 in the RPI, but they are number 2 in the odds. Now, because they're in the same, I'm going to give you my betting strategy. I'll give you the rest of the odds, and I'll give you my betting strategy. LSU plus 200, Arkansas plus 225, UCLA 10 to 1, Murray State 40 to 1. That's on one part of the bracket. The other side of the bracket has Oregon State plus
the second best team I saw
plus 545, Coastal Carolina plus 625, Arizona 18 to 1, and Louisville 29 to 1.
And I thought they looked pretty good too, but
Louisville's the one that knocked off Vanderbilt, who was the number 1 overall seed. So who knows? They just assume, well, you've already gotten your wild upset out of the way, whatever. Here's my strategy, because LSU and Arkansas, I think one of them is going to win it. So what I would do is once one of them loses,
then it has to go to the losers bracket.
That's the team I want to bet on.
Really?
Because I think that they're even enough that the odds will be really long that they can win twice in a row against a team that beat them. So that's the way I'm going to look at it. I'm going to wait until one of them gets beat. Either whoever loses when they play each other, LSU and Arkansas, whoever loses that game, I'm going to take a swing on them then and try and get some long odds on them.
I'm a root for Arkansas.
I have a hard time with that.
Enemy of my enemy.
I have a hard time with that. Arkansas, it says the formula last year that predicted A&M and Tennessee in the final, preseason top 10, team ERA under 3.5, a road record above 500, top 25 strength of schedule. The only one that checks all those boxes, Arkansas. LSU's a second because they have a slightly weaker strength of schedule at number 39, but they are in the same bracket. So that's the way I like to do it. So I'm going to go with whoever loses that Arkansas LSU game eventually. That's where I'm going to take my money to. And the NBA, the latest odds in the NBA, still looking at 5.5. We're starting to see some 6s pop.
Ooh, I thought it might go the other way.
No, I actually bet Oklahoma City 5.5 yesterday, and here's why. I was talking to my buddy who's really, really good at handicapping the NBA, and he said, consider this. Before the playoffs started, if the Nuggets and the Pacers played each other, who would have been favored?
Nuggets.
He said Nuggets on a neutral probably would have been favored by about 3 points. When Oklahoma City was playing in Denver, they were 6.5-point favorites. So why in Indiana are they only 5.5-point favorites if the Nuggets were better than the Pacers?
Well, I'm not going to justify. I get it. I get the thought
It's
process.
just a massive
but
move.
Matchups make fights. I mean, there are matchup things, but I do get the premise, and it makes sense, actually.
Yeah, so I just feel like people in the moment are, because Indiana's made this run, it's real easy to just take a short sample and say, well, Indiana's been hot lately. But Indiana, you've got 82 games plus 3 rounds of playoffs to look at. You can't just weigh it all equally. Obviously, you can't say game 1 is the same as what they did in the Knicks series, but you can't prorate it to lately that it misconstrues what their reality is.
I feel like there's going to be money coming on the Pacers. The closer we get, the number's going to get smaller. I think it'll get closer. I didn't think it'd go to 6. I thought we would be heading down to 4 by now. And I do think by the time they tip, it'll probably be closer to 5 than 6, 4.5 to 5. I just think that Pacer fan is going to come in and go, we're going to win it. We're going to win it, and then by that measure, the number will get smaller.
Total's 228.
Which is about where I thought Pacer fan would be.
228.5 was the total last game. That was a tough beat. They scored like, I think 9 or 11 points got scored in the last minute of that game.
They scored 40 points in the first half. So if you go, man, if we just have an average night.
That game, it was a blowout, and still 11 points get scored in the final minute. They're fouling down the stretch. It's so stupid. Like, the under was the right side, but it doesn't hit. So I guess I would lean the under again, but obviously it's dangerous, even in blowout scenarios.
I think the Pacers just going to shoot better at home, and that is enough for me to look at the over.
Well, remember the under in Game 1. If the Pacers don't hit 50%, you would have thought it would have been an easy under. The latest odds for Stanley Cup Game 4. They've shifted. It feels
it's not 6.5 anymore.
It is still 6.5, and in fact, juiced to the under 6.5. But the Panthers, remember yesterday they were minus 120. They are now minus 150 in Game 4.
It's going to get worse, man.
I think we're starting to see that. Yeah,
Can Edmonton take one at home? Can they make this even respectable? So to be down 2-1 going home, is that what they're looking at?
No, they were
down 3-1 going home. Excuse me.
Yeah, Edmonton started at home,
right,
and they split at home.
Is it 2-3-2 or is it 2-2?
2-1-1-1.
Oh, okay.
So, they would be headed back to Edmonton down 3-1. But, yeah, Florida minus 150 now, your favorite in Game 4.
I felt like the dam broke open last night.
In Major League – yeah, it does feel that way. Major League Baseball, those Detroit Tigers that we just mentioned, they are dogs today. The number 1 team, dogs? How can that be?
No Scooble.
Sawyer Gibson Long, a completely made-up person, is pitching for the Tigers.
Sounds like a band.
They're at Baltimore. Baltimore minus 130. If you like the Tigers, they are plus 107 on the comeback. Andrew Abbott and the Reds are in Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Slade Ciccone goes for the Guardians. That is a pick'em. The pathetic Miami Marlins are in Pittsburgh. Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. Pirates minus 145. Colin Ray goes for the Cubs. They are at Philly to take on Mick Abel and the Phillies. That's a pick'em game. Mackenzie Gore and the Nationals head into New York to take on the Mets. Mets minus 155. Ryan Pepiot and the Rays, they're in Boston taking on Lucas Giolito and the Red Sox, minus 110 both ways. Max Fried and the Yankees, they are in Kansas City to take on the Royals. Noah Cameron goes for KC. Yankees minus 205 on the road. Max Fried day seems to be a good day for the Yankees, though, generally. Grant Holmes, he of the mullet, the Kenny Powers mullet, goes for the Braves. They are in Milwaukee taking on Quinn Priester and the Brew Crew. Braves minus 125. Tyler Mahle goes for the Rangers. They are at Minnesota. Minnesota minus 125 today. Chris Bassett and the Jays in St. Louis. Miles Michael is going for the Cards. That's a pick'em as well.
Chaz Michaels.
That's right. The Chicago White Sox head into Houston to take on the Astros. Lance McCullers Jr., who's been a bit of a revelation. He's been very good. Outside of one start that was a disaster,
he's been threats.
He's been very solid. Yeah, the death threats scared him into. Hey, you stop pitching like an a-hole, Bubba.
Or kill your kids.
Yeah. Okay. McCullers is a minus 175 favorite today. You have a minus 235 on the board. That is the San Francisco Giants. They're on the road. Minus 235 on the road. Who could they possibly be playing? Well, you can get $3 beers there. I'll give you a hint. Yep. Carson Palmquist goes for the Colorado Rockies. Clearly a made-up person.
He's under witness protection.
The A's send Mitch Spence to the hill. They're in Anaheim to take on the Angels. Jose Soriano going for the Halos. Minus 150 are the Angels. The Mariners, Logan Evans at the Diamondbacks with Brandon Pfaadt. The Diamondbacks minus 130. And Dodgers at the Padres. was a good one yesterday. Dylan Cease going for the Padres. They are minus 115 favorites today over the Dodgers. So there you go. There is your look at. Oh, you know what? We need to. I'm going to reach out to him today. Tomorrow, we may try to have Will Doctor on to talk about the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open taking place this week in the world of golf. See if we can make some money on that thing tomorrow. So I'll reach out to Will. I assume he'll hop on with us. He usually is good about that. So
where is it this year?
I don't know.
I'm looking right now. We will be playing. Let's see.
Quail Hollow.
Quail Hollow. No, it's at the Oakmont.
That sounds so fancy, doesn't it? The Oakmont Country Club.
It's outside of Pittsburgh.
Everything
to Manny Brothers and have some.
Everything
fine
in
golf.
Pittsburgh is fancy.
Oh yeah,
it's known
anybody
for being.
Anybody who's ever been to Oakland knows fancy lives in Pittsburgh.
It's a fancy, fancy town.
Pinky up when you're driving around the Monongahela.
That's a delicious Boilermaker.
The finest rock gut rye we have.
This is a nice pickleback with your Jim Beam.
Have you spent much time in Pittsburgh? I spent a week there and
How is
discovered it's not a bad city. It really isn't. It's rusty, but there's a restaurant there called Primanti Brothers that's legendary. They do these sandwiches and they put French fries in them. It's worth the trip.
It feels like it's in a part of the world that's just kind of dying.
But there's
Like
a
that-
kind of a gritty urban feel to it that I enjoyed.
Like Eastern Ohio, West
that's it.
Virginia,
Little rusty.
Pennsylvania. It's just like I feel like it's a bunch of coal miners and toothless people, and it's just
lots of long last names with lots of consonants.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
no Hispanics.
No. Well, no, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
They made it that far?
Yeah, I mean,
ever heard of Roberto Clemente?
Oh, that's right.
That's right. You ever heard of Franco Harris? Actually, I don't think he would. No. He's just.
Who else?
I don't know. That's all I got.
Hernandez? There's no Hernandez in there?
I don't think so. Ever heard of Terry Bradshaw? Ben Roethlisberger?
Schemes? Ever had a Schemes?
Yeah, Roethlisberger's as Hispanic as it gets.
Well.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Do it all over again. Blitz coming up at 2. R.I.P. Big Balls.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move.